Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the Pixel Response Podcast. As always, I am one of your hosts, Paul, and with me is Nathan.
Hey, I am here. Sorry, I'm just being informed that bathrobes can be very warm.
They can
which
be.
Is true.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're living the dream right now.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you're being informed of this, or like firsthand?
Well, I just bought a new robe for my lady friend, and it's pretty warm apparently. So
Christmas gift, maybe?
Sure. Well, no, I don't know. Just a thing that is good. Robes are good. Uh-oh.
With us tonight, we have a special guest, Tony Pomposelli from IceHL. Is that what it is? Sorry?
Yes, that's correct. It's the IceHL from aesthetics.info.
Well, welcome. Thank you for hanging out. I mean, people might know you in the chat better as Zedashade.
Yes, that's correct. I am a kind of a frequent kind of goer in the chat at Zedashade here on Twitch. So you can find me often hanging around here at Pixel Response, as well as a few other assorted streams as well. So hockey is not my only bag, guys. I'm also a gamer as well.
There you go. Well, thank you for hanging out. We appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for having me on. It's tremendously appreciated.
Especially such short notice at like 10 minutes before we got together here, basically.
Well, didn't really have much else going on at the time, so figured, why not?
Yeah, sure. Nathan.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me everything you know about Hell Mode Spelunky.
Well, it's not a mode. Okay.
I know, it's Hell Level or whatever. Hell Spelunky. Yeah, let's just call it Spelunky
It's a
Hell.
new level of the game that I didn't know existed for a while. I don't know. For a while, I was kind of hoping to just kind of figure it out and find it organically, but that I'm pretty sure no one does that. So I just looked up a video at some point and wanted to see how it's done. It's kind of convoluted. It kind of basically requires you to be very adept at doing an Iron Man playthrough, like just level 1 to the end of the game, because you need to pick up kind of a variety of things along the way. Yeah. Well, whatever. I guess I'll just kind of go through it. You need the seeing eye thing from the mines, so you need to unlock the chest.
Okay, yep.
Yep. In World 2, you need to find the black market, like in the jungle. Have you found the black market ever? Or?
I have once, yeah.
Okay.
I don't look for it ever, though.
You need to go there, and you have to get the Ankh, which is the weird cross thing that resurrects you.
Yep.
Then you need to resurrect on a specific stage in the ice caves, the one with the Moai head.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you resurrect there, you will get some like kind of a hat. I look at it as kind of like a weird Tibetan kind of hat, is what it looks like to me. But people were calling it a crown. I don't know. I don't know about that. Then in World 4, like the hat allows you to access the gold door, like the locked door. Which when I saw that the first time I ever made it to the temple, I assumed that was the real reason you needed to carry the key from level 1-1 all the way there. And I was like, wow, that's totally fucked. Which is a thing Tunnel Man asks you to do at some point. Which I managed to pull off. But apparently, no, you just need this hat. And then you get to go to the City of Gold. In the City of Gold, you get the Necronomicon. So they just stole that from Evil Dead and put it in there.
Yeah.
Then you keep that with you, and that will allow you to find the door in the final boss chamber with Olmec or whatever. Like he's a big golden head. You need to defeat him in a very specific part of the level, and then stand on his head as like the platform to get access to the door. Then you go in that door, and then it's hell. And I have never made it there, but that's kind of the next.
Boy, is it ever.
Yeah. That's the next kind of benchmark or whatever of like, that's the next thing I need to shoot for, pretty much. So
I have a question for you, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Does this hell level actually make Spelunky a game that is worth playing?
Well, it's already... So, what? What do you mean?
That's arguable.
What's your beef with Spelunky?
Nothing. I'm just trying to rile you up a little bit, because I know you were going to talk about something at some point.
Well, it's already a pretty dynamic platformer action game, so I don't know. It's more to see, so that's kind of just a thing I want to try to do. But yeah, I don't know. Like that and like ghost converting gems into ghost gems is kind of like two tricks I need to kind of figure out. Have you heard about that? Have I gone?
We talked about it last time, yeah.
Yeah. I finally did that once. I got a ghost gem. I was like, yeah, $5,000, sweetest $5,000 ever. So
Wow.
yeah, just getting adept at doing that is kind of a key to doing well at the daily challenges. But the whole hell thing is definitely another thing I need to try to do. Just I don't know, just because I want to, because I like that game and want to play more of it. I guess kind of like how Contra Shattered Soldier, like you can beat the game in level 4, but there's more levels if you are good. It's
Sure.
kind of like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm kind of keen on doing that, and I just got the Vita version this week, so I can play Spelunky all around. Although that game is kind of dangerous. Like I was like, I'm gonna take this to the bus stop. This is gonna be great, but then I was like nervously checking for the bus all the time because if I get too absorbed, I'll just sit there and the bus will just drive away. Or then it's like I'm on the bus, it's just like, oh, I missed my stop like 12 minutes ago.
Oh.
Well, then you just bought yourself more Spelunky time, so it works out.
I did buy myself more Spelunky time, but like it was kind of a tight schedule to get to work on time, which I managed to pull off. But I was like, yeah, I can't just do that. It's like, hey, where are you? I'm in a bus stop playing video games. I'm trying to get there though. I promise. Like, yeah, it was not viable. So I barely played Vita on the way. Like that's the thing. Like portable systems, I don't know. I don't use them as intended, maybe. I'm not sure. It's just phone games still. Like, I was playing Scurvy Scalawags again on the way home today, because it's just easier to do that than bust out the Vita and play that.
Right.
Also, I can't see, because part of it is I want to be listening to a podcast and playing a game, but like a mindless game. And I can do that with Spelunky at home, but I can't have headphones in, Spelunky audio, and a podcast on the bus unless I have 2 pairs of headphones on, and who does that? Like
I've done it before.
And outer ear, really? Like one earphone's one and one's the other?
Well, I had earbuds plugged, like at my computer. I was playing a game, and I had earbuds plugged into like the normal audio jack, and then I had my headset over top of that, listening to other stuff.
Okay. I guess that's a way, but it just seemed too weird. Like I don't have a good pair of earbuds around, so.
Yeah, that makes sense. I had to use that technique actually this weekend when I was trying to repair my computer. So I could hear the computer that had no visuals and hear my friends on Skype on my cell phone.
Nice. All right.
So it was like, it was weird, but it worked. It was not something I would be recommending to do for an extended term.
Yeah, that could like give you some weird psychosis probably or something. Just hearing voices.
Oh yeah, I felt a little loopy for a few minutes afterwards, but I don't know if that was just because I was just relieved that the computer wasn't dead after all.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I put a new hard drive in my computer, and for some reason the OS wouldn't take the first 5 times I tried to install it, so I was sure I had fried something. But we're good now. We're good. I mean, we have to be, because I'm able to read the chat right now and talk.
Yeah, if you're hearing this, it's all good.
Everything worked. It worked out.
It was a triumph.
It was. It kept me up till 6 a.m. doing it, but it worked.
That sounds frustrating, but okay.
It sucked.
Oh yeah, there's nothing worse than having computer problems late at night, because you go, okay, do I wake up in the morning with a clear head and fix this, or do I just plow right into it and hope what I do works?
Well, and then like for me, I can't sleep until I know it's okay, because I'll just sit
like
in there
thinking about trying to fix it while you're I can do that. That's not a good recipe.
No, it's probably the worst recipe. It's the worst recipe you could ever ask for, but it all worked out in the end. We're all okay.
Okay, all is good.
What necessitated the new hard drive? Just you wanted it, or?
My other hard drive is 7 years old, and it was the only thing keeping my Windows experience score down really low.
Okay.
7-year-old hard drive?
Yeah, like it was a 250 gig and just like a standard hard drive. So now I have a SSD and all that sort of shit. So
nice.
Yeah.
I was about to say 7 years old. That's how old my graphics card is, scarily enough.
Yeah, that was my second oldest. Like, I just upgraded my graphics card about I think last weekend, and then not the one that replaced, but the other one replaced was probably about the same age.
Wow. Yeah, I can't really upgrade on this thing. Its tech is so old, it refuses to take any GPU with more than 256 megs of RAM in it. I wish I were joking,
man.
but it's not.
Man.
It's that ancient. So it's like basically with the card I have, it's like, this is the best you're going to do with it. And it's like, okay. It's not like I wanted to plan on anything higher than low settings anyways. State of the art when Half-Life 2 came out.
Yeah, there you go. So you could still play Source games pretty well, probably.
Oh, Source games look gorgeous, but that's about the extent of it.
That's a really good engine. It still works very well. So, good job, Valve. You did something right for once.
Yep. I'm sure they appreciate it. It's just like, oh man, thanks. We were about to close up shop, but this guy said we were doing okay. Kind of worried.
Yeah, on the podcast nobody listens to.
Oh, it's there's like what you said, 50 people, so like 37 of them probably work at Valve. So, statistically,
roughly, and the other 12 are the ones that come join us every week.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, they're not. They got to be secretive about that stuff.
Well, they're listening to us while they're working on those glorious Steam updates.
Well, it's probably really recent though. Just after the Kyle Pulver episode went up, we talked about how great Valve games are. And then
every time you bring up Kyle Pulver or anything to do with indie games, I'm reminded that I haven't put out another Indie Talks, even though I have 5 ready.
Oh yeah,
I just have to push the button, and I haven't. I don't know why. So I apologize.
Good thing I reminded you. So
I'll do it tonight. Yes.
Okay. There you go. So, brand new bit of indie game talking coming at you.
I was gonna ask you, Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
Does State of Decay count as indie?
I don't know, because it's Microsoft Game Studios, but it's kind of a smaller scale project. So,
maybe, Undead Labs has only a couple people working there.
Right. So I guess maybe it's just who published it. I guess if you look at it like that, Trenched/Iron Brigade is a small game, but it was published by Microsoft Game Studios, I believe, right?
Okay, so that will still fit under Indie Talks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't need to rebrand or anything.
Okay.
Although we could just Talks or.
I know you hate the name, but
yeah, it's.
Or
I don't
know. Indie with an asterisk.
Yeah.
I don't that. Oh, and then there's a giant paragraph explanation. It's this is not trying to be all hey, it's indie, like those bands.
That's definitely what it started off as.
I guess
because we talked to the people that were literally just dudes that made a game at a jam. It doesn't get more indie than that,
right? So
I don't know. You know what? It doesn't matter. We'll be talking to the State of Decay people at some point. That's why I bring this up. So, anyways, that will be coming. I don't know when. We'll have to talk off air about that whole thing. But I've been playing State of Decay.
Okay.
On your account.
All right. Happy to share.
I feel bad about it now. It's just we're going to be talking to the people that made this game, and I love it, but I didn't pay for it.
You could get the DLC, though, and then you're supporting it.
I could buy the DLC under your account. Exactly. It is one of the best games I never bought, honestly. In my heyday, I pirated a lot.
You can still buy it. It's not illegal for you to buy it.
No, I definitely will buy it.
Okay. I'm just
yeah, so I will be buying it. It just seems weird that I'm on Twitter. I really like these guys' game. It'd be great to talk to them. They're like, yeah, email us. I'm like, I never bought your game.
Yeah.
I feel so weird about it.
That's
Anyways,
the world of family sharing.
I have been liking it. Spoiler alert, it is definitely on my top 10 games of the year so far, which is surprising because I didn't give a shit about it until you were like, no, it's actually good. And I was just like, well, if Nathan thinks a zombie game is good, there has to be something a little more deep in there, and there is, for sure.
Oh, yeah. What is the aspect of it that's most impressing you? Do you have
It reminds me of San Andreas in a lot of ways. And, The Sims in a weird way. That a little bit of that's in there. The whole Dead Rising Zombie Apocalypse is kind of in there.
managing some stuff. Yeah, a bit of Dead Rising.
It's
I'm
it's
trying
the
to think
good
what
parts of
the
a whole bunch of things put together.
like San Andreas in terms of like the city and like the open world and how they handle open world kind of, or
The open world thing and like leveling up your like attack by attacking more, like the little RPG elements in there.
Oh,
in
okay.
the world environment. The Sims thing, because you have to keep people fed and like make sure people are getting along, sort of thing. And like you said, you have your little crew and stuff. I don't know. It has the combat is like Dead Rising quality, where it's actually kind of fun, but like without all the bad qualities of Dead Rising. In that it's
I'd
not.
say it also doesn't have like the weapon variety of Dead Rising. Like you're kind of just hitting
It
stuff
doesn't.
with blunt objects or shooting them.
But it
that's
works
okay.
because I can run into a horde of zombies and still take out almost all of them with one character, and it's satisfying.
Okay.
It still is satisfying. It's the best parts of a lot of really good things all put together, but like maybe not to the polish that all these things came from
Right,
games.
but because they're kind of choosing really interesting things that aren't exactly easy. I don't know. Like, yeah, it's definitely kind of a bit of a challenging game, or it demands a lot of your attention when you're playing it. You can't just kind of hang around or
It does
keep going.
But it earns it by giving you enough motivation to keep playing it. Like, there's enough in there that I don't feel like I'm just sinking a bunch of time in for nothing. It feels worth it in the end.
Well, I was seeing when I first started raving about it that some people do feel kind of keeps you grinding for a bit because you're just kind of surviving for the sake of surviving in a way. But that's kind of just zombie.
I kind of like that, though. I kind of like
Yeah.
it's not like we're
what other
working to get to
reason do
this
you
city, the last bastion of like humanity, and from here the game ends because we win. I like that.
Yeah,
it's like
we're fighting for the cure or something. It's like, no, it's just fucked. If
Like-
you want to keep living, there are places to go loot, and you can shoot stuff.
like
and
you know what a
build
triumph
things.
in State of Decay is finding a house, clearing it of everything, and then making that part of like your stronghold sort of thing. That
Like your
is
network of safe zones, kind of.
everything in that game is little accomplishments, and that feels really good instead of one big accomplishment, which would be ending the game sort of thing.
Well, yeah, little victories that you brought about, like firsthand. Like you,
Which is
did
like that's what Dead Rising never had. It's like there was no the little victories where like you saved another survivor or whatever.
and you're just like,
the-
Hares, that person was so annoying, but you're
But, like,
kind of just aiming for an achievement. Or
you were
something.
trying to go for the grand victory of that game of just surviving for like the 7 days or whatever. I can't remember
Right.
Dead Rising,
But it's like all scripted stuff, so it's a little less dynamic in a way.
but like you don't have that in this game because the whole thing is bleak. So like all the little victories feel like that end accomplishment,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I like about it.
Okay. I guess for me, the thing I keep coming back to is still that, like, the way they handle indoors and outdoors, like, seamlessly like that. Like,
Yeah,
I honestly just can't think of many games, if any, that do it that well. Of just, like, it was just, like, a moment in that game where I was just, like, I was just standing in a living room, it's just like, wait a minute, why is this, like, why is my brain kind of like, whoa, what is this? Like, why is this surreal? And then it was just like, oh, wait, yeah, games get this wrong, like, every time. Like, all the time.
and it
There's
leads to great things like being able to jump into a window accidentally and then zombies hearing you and just surrounding you. Like it
Right.
leads to great things when there's no load screen.
Right, like, but yeah, I think it's just like that. There are detailed interiors of houses that you can just kind of run right into without any load or fade out or any trick at all. It's just that's just part of the environment. Like we thought that was important. And it's just like, yeah, that's kind of,
And it is, for sure.
it makes that world seem much more real than some other games I've played. So it was yeah, pretty cool stuff. I need to play more of it maybe. Like I definitely kind of was playing that, and then Saints Row 4 came along and became kind of the open world thing I was doing, which is totally different in terms of what it's interested in providing.
I've been
But-
wanting to download that for a while, like off your thing again, but it's
Yeah.
10 gigs, and every time I start it, I have to stop because I'm either doing a podcast or going to work or like looking up something else on the internet that I need.
Okay,
Like the bad
I think
before.
it's worth a play. It was, you know, I mean, it certainly helps if you're already kind of into Saints Row and their kind of goofy sense of humor or whatever, but it is like the most successful realization of their silliness from Saints Row 3. Like they rolled that into a much more fun game this time. Because I never quite got the like swell of love for 3 because I still felt it had like a lot of fat on that game. Like it was just like, this is not fun like most of the time. And occasionally it's very fun, but it's only occasionally, whereas this is kind of more so like just giving you dumb stuff to do and superpowers and jumping really high and all sorts of dumb stuff like really quickly. So yeah, they did
which it should.
Yeah,
like, that's how it should have been.
Right. So I was definitely feeling that. I don't know how much I'm going to go back. Like there's still a bunch of loyalty missions and stuff. Like I finished the core story, and yeah, like I might put a pin in that until next year or something. I don't know. Like I'm in a weird spot where I'm kind of like feeling like, well, it's game of the year time. It's coming up. Like I should probably play a bunch of stuff I haven't played yet. But at the same time, it's just like whatever. Like if I don't want to play Devil May Cry, for example, or Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, like I'm just not going to. Like I don't know.
Sure.
It's just who am I beholden to really on that? Like is there like
absolutely nobody? No.
Yeah. And it's like Miasmata is like Game of the Year 2013 probably, and that doesn't even make sense. But you know, it came out in 2012. It's not even, you can't even do that. And it's just like, oh, whatever.
Well, I mean, my Game of the Year is still Hearthstone. So
oh, okay.
Miasmata and Hearthstone Game of the Year on Pixel Response.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I almost just want to like handle it like what were the best games I played this year as opposed to what games came out this year that I managed to play and thought were pretty good. Because at that point, that list is filled with a lot of games I'm not that excited about. Like it's just like 5 through 10 is games I thought were fine, but they're not like some of the best games I've ever played. They happen to come out in a 12-month part.
I think that's maybe the way to go about it, because since we're not like the Giant Bomb or the IGN or something where they have to play these games for like their job sort of thing, for revenue and all that sort of stuff, and we just play what we want. It makes more sense to do a list that's like top 10 games of the year for me. Not like out of everything, but like out of what I've played. And I'm not going to go ahead and play Devil May Cry because it was a big release and see how I like it. Rather, I played this game and it was really good, so you might want to as well.
Yeah.
That's the way we should go, I think.
I guess so, yeah. I don't know. Like I still feel like there are games that came out this year that I might totally end up enjoying, but not if I force myself to play them. Like then I'll be kind of in a negative mood. Just right away. So that's not going to help its case at all.
Well, sure, that makes sense. I mean, games are supposed to be something that you enjoy, that you're not necessarily forcing yourself to do. So, I mean, if you go in there with this attitude of, I have to play this, then you're probably not going to enjoy it nearly as much.
Which, I mean, that whole kind of thing has kind of made me wonder about video game reviewing processes, generally speaking, because like they are kind of in that position where it's like, well, I have like 1 week or like 5 days to finish this game. So what kind of experience are they looking for at that point? Like an easy experience that's easy to get through, or like something like Demon Souls or something comes down the pipe. How do you review that without hating that game?
9 out of 10.
Well,
that's how you do it. Done.
Well, some people got into that and like were like, man, this is really compelling, but I don't know. Or like there was like weird cases over the years of like, Metro 2033 came out and Destructoid didn't review it for like a year because no one wanted to play it, but then eventually they did and still ran a review, which I thought was kind of cool because it's like, well, it's not like that game ceases to exist and no one wonders whether or not they should play it past the first month of its release, but that seems to be kind of the thing. It's like a race to get the review out there, and then past that point, no one kind of cares about it anymore.
Well, at this point, who even reviews games, right? Everybody just plays a game with people watching, and they like give their opinion at the moment of what's going on. It's like, oh man, these controls are terrible. Oh man, that cutscene was stupid. Oh, blah, blah, blah. That's your review right there in a 30-minute video or more.
Well, that's like why Giant Bomb has kind of done more, like way more quick looks than reviews, like as kind of their emphasis or whatever, which makes sense. But I mean, you're still only getting a little snapshot. Like, I don't know. I was just like thinking like back when I was way into GameSpot, like they would kind of force themselves to play through entire games, and sometimes they were really shitty games. But that would be kind of interesting coverage because you're just like, well, I would never play this. Like Nano Breaker comes to mind for some reason.
Yeah,
It was a PS2 action game.
Oh, I remember how bad that was.
So it's just like, well, I would never play this, but watching kind of Alex Navarro share his thoughts on it for like 10 minutes or something is really interesting content, and I'm happy to have it. But if it's like, we're just going to play this for like 30 minutes, whatever, this is bullshit or something, and it's just like, well, I could have done that. Like anyone, I didn't go the extra mile, and them forcing themselves to go the extra mile is kind of what I want to see. But I get why no one would want to do that, and that's why if you have the choice, like as a group of editors or whatever, it's just like, no, we're only going to play games we want to play. Like, I get why you'd do that, but I don't know. I like seeing bad games. But some of the stuff I want to see. Like, some of my favorite quick looks are when they kind of stumble into a really crappy game. Like Day of Defeat or whatever. Is that what it's called? Darkest of Days.
Darkest of Days, yeah.
That game, like, it was so bad looking that it actually compelled me enough to play it. And I ended up playing it. I was like, man, this game is so dumb. Like, it was kind of fun. But if you're not going to cover, like, certain games at all, like, I'm just not going to hear about that stuff. So, like, what is the campily terrible game that came out in 2013? I don't know. And I kind of wish I did. Because there probably was one. It's just no one bothers covering it anymore because there's too much going on.
2013 bad game. Oh, Ride to Hell Retribution. That's got to be in there.
Okay, like it's kind of fun, but kind of terrible.
I've heard it's not even fun. I've heard it's just a wreck.
Well, that might be fun to like see, like in a kind of way. But okay,
yeah,
like I don't know.
And is it going to get worse? And then it just did.
I'll have to see what it is. I don't even. Is it about motorcycles? Like, what is this?
I think it is. It's kind of a little bit motorcycle. Like, I've heard it's a really bad. Okay, you can help me with this one. What was the name of the motorcycle game that Tim Schafer made so many years ago?
Oh, Full Throttle.
Full Throttle. Thank you. I've heard it's like a really, really, really bad Full Throttle.
So it's partial adventure game stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I don't know. That's
what I've heard. I don't know exactly how accurate that is because I never kept up with it, except for the fact that everybody just destroyed it in their reviews.
Or even that Walking Dead game that everyone was like, "Man, this is just shit."
Survival Instinct. Yes.
Yeah, like it's just like, well, it's shit, but maybe it's like fun to break it, kind of. I don't know. Like I'm not completely like just warned off that game entirely. Like it's just like that might actually be fun to like toy with. But I don't know, like, because no one did super exhaustive coverage of it as far as I know. Maybe I just need to look in different places. No one in my little network of stuff I'm interested in has gone really deep on that game, so I just don't know. I just don't know what to make of it.
I didn't see a lot of universal coverage on Survival Instinct. It was kind of like that, okay, let's pretend the only Walking Dead game that exists is the one that Telltale made, and we'll just we won't even pretend that this one exists.
Right, and I think
Survival Instinct can't be any worse than the other one, right?
This is trolly. That's like...
Yeah, that was trolly. So I typed in Ride to Hell Retribution, and one of the first pictures it brought up is a dude at an obvious strip club with a shotgun and a cigar in his mouth. And in the foreground, or like in the background a little bit more, is a girl looking in the mirror, putting on lipstick, and you can clearly see her ass through her miniskirt.
Okay.
So that is basically a 10 out of 10.
That's a sale right there. Just click.
I might actually buy it so we could cover it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
wow.
I don't know. Something about bad games I find amusing. Like, I mean, for a while there, it was like the achievement lust was leading me to play a bunch of kind of junky stuff. But every now and then you'd find something that's like, you know what? I never would have played this if it wasn't for achievements, but I'm actually kind of glad I did. Like, it was actually not that bad. Like, why would I play TMNT? I wouldn't. But it actually wasn't, like, that bad of a game. It was an okay kind of Prince of Persia clone. But it was kind of decent. I don't know. It kept moving. It was okay. Like, that's kind of waned now, though, so it's just kind of like I'm only playing games that are supposed to be great games. And then if I find they're not to my liking, I'm, like, confused and, I don't know, extra upset about it. snarky. Maybe.
You get upset about a lot of games, though.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Actually, you know what? That's not fair. You don't get upset about the games. You get upset about the people who
like
hail or
stuff. That's
yeah.
Just, what are you talking about? Like, didn't you play the last one? It's like, no. This is the first Far Cry game I've played to completion. It's like, all right, well, what are you doing? What are you for? I don't know why I went back to Far Cry, but I did. So I'm sorry.
Far Cry 1?
Far Cry. Well, 3 is the one that everyone was raving about, and you're
right. But you just said Far Cry, so I was like, I don't know why I went back to Far Cry.
Well, this franchise. I mean, I've
the franchise, yeah, okay,
and 2. So my opinion's better than yours, is what I'm saying, frankly.
Well, I played them both as well.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not. I'm saying to this
I really like
hypothetical
2.
person who only played the third one. Like, it's just like,
no, I liked 3, but I also
own
like 2.
3 now because it was on sale, and I think it's installed, so I can finally look at it. But the Uplay stuff is still a weird thing that bothers me.
It's terrible. Like, it's absolutely
Blood
terrible.
Dragon, I played it, and I was just like, why do I have to log into this other thing? I don't remember my password. Like, I'm probably going to have to retrieve my password yet again because I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure Blood Dragon is the way for somebody to play Far Cry 3, though. Because it's a nice little weird episodic thing with a decent sense of humor, especially for 80s kids like us that grew up with the shitty movies.
But isn't there like less island to explore and like
less but that's
hunt?
Why it's better, I think, because then it's just like a 2-hour experience and you don't have to put in the 20 hours. And then if you like it, maybe you'll like Far Cry 3.
Maybe.
Right. It's a more focused thing.
It's a decent little like demo where it's like this is kind of the stuff you'll be doing in the actual game, only in a way less intriguing setting.
I'm a little worried about that then, because I only played like 90 minutes of Blood Dragon before I kind of got tired, but I don't know. Okay. Video games, they continue.
They're back, guys. Video games
back.
Still around.
Yeah, 2014.
Don't call it a comeback. They've been here for years.
I don't know. Like 2014, I'm not. Wait, where's Hotline Miami 2? Wasn't that supposed to come out? What's going on?
I don't know. You tell me, Mr. E3.
Yeah. They said that was going to come out this year, so that was the latest.
Did they? I don't remember them saying anything about this year, but that it was in development.
I don't. All right, maybe. I'm thinking way too far back to when like it was first announced, and I assumed it would be out.
Or maybe it was supposed to come out this year and it got delayed.
Maybe. I mean, it's not unheard of for indie games to get delayed, like Amnesia. That happened a bunch, but
yeah.
Okay.
And then they still come out, and they're the same thing. So
yeah.
That's the thing. I've never liked that, where it's like, oh yeah, we delayed this game. You made the same fucking game. Like, what are you doing? But
I honestly haven't heard much about Machine for Pigs at all, so I don't know. I was kind of thinking about that manner of horror game, though, just relation to stuff I've been kind of gravitating towards and playing. Like, it's like, at some point, I just want the power fantasy. You know, like it's like I want a simulator that lets me do weird stuff that I can't do in my day-to-day life. Or I want, occasionally something weird and thoughtful that simulates, again, something I'm not doing presently in my life. Like, I'm not a border patrol guard in Eastern Europe, but that's
there's always time.
I guess, but either way, I can't be in 1982 because that's already happened. So it's kind of neat to have a window into that in some way. But if your game is like entirely like there's just stuff chasing you and you have no recourse at all and it's just dark and awful, I don't know. I'm just less inclined to ever want to do that. Like to ever click that executable. Like every time I click on Slenderman, it's just like, wait, I don't want to be in a scary forest right now at all. Closed. Like there's just
to be fair, I think that every night
where I want to be in a scary forest. So
you never want to be in a scary forest. Anybody that says, hey, I want to be in a scary forest chased by something that can kill me right away is lying.
Yeah.
They're just lying. You never want to.
But I mean, that's like that horror movie thing. It's like sometimes we want to be scared. And I guess, I don't know, that just doesn't happen often at all. So
I don't want to be scared anymore. I grew up playing horror games and watching horror movies and stuff. I'm done with the thrill of being scared. I want to come home after work when I'm already riled up from all the bullshit I dealt with for 10 hours and relax. I just want to relax.
Yeah. And I mean, even in a game that's kind of tense and like there's a lot of kind of horror themes. Like State of Decay could be classified as like, what's a horror game? There's like monsters trying to kill you, but like it's not. It's like a simulation of like this weird apocalyptic scenario where you can kind of take charge and like survive, but proactively. Like you're like, well, I killed all these zombies and now this house is ours, and I'm gonna nail these boards on the wall, like over the windows rather, not just on the wall. But yeah, and then kind of hold it down, and you feel kind of empowered even though you're just a guy with a pistol. Like you don't have that much in terms of crazy abilities, but it's still kind of exciting in a way. It's an adventure. But I don't know. There was another moment this past week where like I finished both Saints Row 4 and Legend of Zelda on the same day, and then just felt like this weird kind of not fulfillment at all, because it's just like the game is telling me I'm this great hero and I just save stuff, but I have to go to work tomorrow morning, and like I am not that. Like,
you have to get pushed around by 18-year-old managers, sort of thing.
Well, not quite, but like that kind of like just fantasy reality thing of just like the fantasy just doesn't make the reality any better. It's just like I'm accomplishing crazy stuff in Hyrule
Low Rule.
And Low Rule. I saved both of them.
Yeah.
You know, like, dude. And then you just go and it's like, yeah, you better not be late. And then your manager's kind of like, hey, what's with this? I actually like slept in like at one point this week. I just like showed up like 90 minutes late. And
you get shit for being late?
I mean, I phoned it in and like gave him heads up that was going to happen. Like, it was just like, hey, I'm at the bus stop right now, but there's no way I'm going to be on time. Like,
see,
so
this is a weird thing to me, is that like a lot of that's a normal thing, but like my job's not good, like by any stretch of the imagination. However, they don't care if I'm late. I just don't get paid for the time I wasn't there.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably all that's going to result from this is just like, well, you missed out on 90 minutes of wages, so... Okay.
But, like, do they make you feel bad or anything like that? Because I have heard of places that are just like, you were late, can you explain why, and shit, like, just kind of grill you about it?
No, to be fair, like, they didn't really give me any hassle about it. It was more just kind of the fear that would happen. Like, I was just kind of a little nervous walking in there. I was just like, oh, someone's going to give me shit. Like, oh man, like maybe it's just bad experiences in the past or something, but yeah, or just like weird flashbacks to like being late for school or something. Like you can't do that, man.
Yeah, you would get in trouble for that though.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I'm just kind of assuming that takes place in the adult world too. It's just like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be here. And you're just like, oh no. It's just like, no, you're 26 now. No one cares.
I've come to the realization that in the real world, you can literally do whatever you want. You just have to prepare for the consequences. Like, I don't have to go to work, but I have to prepare to not have a job and not have money.
Exactly. Like, so it's just kind of this weird thing where it's just like, wait, like, I could just go, like, just wander off and go eat Japanese food or something and then go home, which I've wanted to do so many times. Like, especially, okay, so you're in receiving, you just open the back door and there's just, like, hills, and it's just like, I could just, like, go there. I could just go to there and then not be here.
See, for me, it's like I open the door to go for a smoke or something, and I see these planes that I know are full of people going to like Hawaii or something.
And, yeah, just like I could just get on a plane and fly
like
away.
I could literally walk over on the other side of this tarmac and just walk into a plane right now.
Yeah, like that is a thing that could happen. Like those airplanes are flying to those places, and I could just go there. But like for me, it's just kind of there's this weird invisible barrier of just money. Like it's just like this arbitrary thing humans created is now just this weird hurdle that ruins everything. Like it's just like, what? No, you can't do that. Why? You didn't transact number to our number, so fuck off. And you're just like, oh, I just want to go to Hawaii. Why can't
that being said, I don't actually want to go to Hawaii specifically, but like anywhere but here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I want to get out of Calgary. I haven't been out of Calgary in a while. I didn't get to go to any cons this last year.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Just kind of this weird I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I'm doing PAX East,
like,
though.
Mental recap of like all the dumb shit that happened this year, and then it was like, wait, what happened in September? Oh yeah, PAX happened, and it didn't cure anything. It was just kind of like this other negative note And I don't know if it's because of all this baggage I was carrying already, or if it was just kind of not a great experience. But I don't know if you remember back to the PAX episode, I was not feeling PAX 13. So,
Well, I mean, I think we decided it's because I wasn't there with you.
right. That's probably the thing. The dynamic duo was not there, so it was just kind of like this weird, sad thing. No, I don't know. It was just like, it just didn't pop. It just didn't work this time. And I'm just kind of like, is that just a thing? Like, is just this kind of that thing habitual drug users encounter where you just can't get the same high? Like, is that just what's happening now, but with video games? Like, it's just like, they just don't do it anymore, man. It took like 20 years, but now they just don't pop. You need something else. I need an Oculus. I don't know. Like, what's next? What's the next thing? I need a giant treadmill in my house and an Oculus Rift. And then I'll become
I would not be opposed to buying one of those.
Those weird kind of like floor mat things that like I don't even know what's happening.
I would need two things. I would need excess money for it and space.
Yeah.
Of which I have neither right now. Like I don't have excess money to waste like $500 on being able to walk in a video game and actually walk.
All right. There's a way. I'm just going to lead this right to the straight up, flat out weirdest thing that happened this week. And I'm going to be a little vague about it just for, the names have been changed to protect the innocent kind of thing. So, yeah, like it's just, like, this whole kind of quest to find a way to get out of the grind of 9 to 5s or whatever. Like, that's just kind of a thing that's been weighing me down. And the weirdest, like, just meeting happened yesterday with, like, was it yesterday? It was yesterday. It was only yesterday, but it was still just, like, so weird. So, like, a couple of weeks ago, like, an old high school acquaintance ran into me at the iTech table. Like, that, there was this little corner of the store I have to kind of just hang out at. Back when I complained about that, right? That must
you have. The whole Apple thing and blah, blah, blah.
Like,
yeah, you have.
I was just there not having it because, like, I had already expressed I don't want to do this anymore to management, and it just kind of wasn't going through. And I was just like, they just trapped me. Like, this is just a trick. I'm just here forever. I have to sell Beats headphones, and that's just what happened. And oh god. So at like my lowest moment of being employed there, high school person just stops by. I was just like, oh hey, it was just like this weird kind of like, I haven't seen you in like almost a decade kind of thing. And then I'm just gonna admit this, like, I am one of those people that the awkward run-in with like an old acquaintance is something I just like flee from. Like,
sure, yeah.
Have you ever been like just walking through the mall and you're just like, oh shit, it's my old boss or something, or like, oh crap, it's that dude from grade 4, and then you just jump into the bushes?
I walked through the mall one day, and saw the guy that got me arrested for stealing at his store.
Okay.
And
amazing potential right there.
And then he just kind of like turned his head a little bit. I laughed at him, and then I just flipped him off.
Amazing. What?
That's amazing.
Wow. That's like,
because I figured you already owned my emotions once. Mm-hmm. Now I get to do it. Now it's my turn, bitch.
Okay. Good for
and I
you.
didn't. I didn't want to like hit him or do anything like that. You don't want to get into a scuffle because you can get arrested again, and it's just kind of poor form. Okay. So I figured the best thing to do would be to outwardly laugh at him and then just flip him off like, I don't even care. Don't even care, bro.
Okay.
So
okay.
That
for like having a plan or a way to deal with like a situation. I just like end up in awkward conversations that like they seem to kind of end up with those vague like, yeah, we should hang out sometime or catch up or whatever, like those kind of things. Only this one actually ended in like a very insistent like, no, like I'm gonna phone you and we'll catch up. And it's just like, oh, okay. Like I'm at work. I don't know. This is also a customer. Like it was just a weird situation, right? And that happened. Like that meeting happened last week, and it kind of like it was fine. Like it was just like hey, talking about old times or whatever, like what happened to our school and whatever, and different like family updates or whatever. But then like the business angle came in, and like this was a thing that was just like part of like, okay, I'm just gonna say it, like there's kind of like this tentative thing, like it's like, hey, you know, like if you want, there's this crazy opportunity. I'm just gonna say, if me expressing how weird I find like what I currently have knowledge wise about this whole thing, if me expressing that that's weird is in any way a deal breaker for them being weirded out by that is a deal breaker for me. So this is fine. I'm just gonna go ahead. So pyramid schemes.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh.
I don't know enough. That's kind of the thing. Like, it's just like, all I know is like just things from movies and like my own like just stories from my parents and their experiences with Amway and all this stuff. It's just like, what is the one thing anyone trying to pitch you a pyramid scheme is going to say? It's not a pyramid scheme, you know? Like, it's like, we thought it was, but it's not, you know? Like that kind of thing. Like, it's just kind of like this weird kind of conversation just started happening where it's just like, what is even happening anymore? Like, what is this? What is this business? What are we doing? And it's just like, well, I can't tell you what we're doing. And it's not because it's like weird. It's just you wouldn't understand. And like at that point, I was just like, this is just weird. Like, what's going on? I don't know. I don't know if it's just like the world of e-commerce and just like I don't understand how internet money works or whatever. Maybe that's what they're assuming, but I am at a point right now where it's just like there's like a weird deal on the table and I don't know what it is. So I feel really strange about it. I just like has anything like this ever happened to you guys? Like, this seems like a thing that happens to adults at some point. Someone tries to pitch you on like a timeshare or something. And again, they made sure like this is not like that. They brought up timeshares specifically. It's not like that. But of course it isn't. Of course you say that.
I met up with somebody once that I remembered vaguely from high school, not junior high, but high school, and they tried to pitch the word of God to me. Does that count?
Religion, yeah. Like, honestly, that's another like factor I'm like just kind of nervous about in the back of my head, because it's just like I used to go to extremely Christian private school. This person, like, I don't know what their current state is. Like, a lot of time has passed, but they were like way into that then. So, like, it's just like, you know, you're just hanging out. Like, me and Brittany are just there. And, like, I'm just kind of trying to be mindful not to be, like, too crazy. Like, just, I'm not going to curse it up or anything. Like, I'm just not going to be too weird. Because, like, this person hasn't seen me in a while. Like, I'm kind of, like, reverting to a high school state in a way in terms of how I'm expressing myself, but trying to be a little more honest and forward than I used to be. But it was just weird. Like, I just didn't know how to handle it. It's just, like, this social scenario of just, like, I don't know what to do. Like, is this a real thing? Like, what is happening? Like, I thought we were, like, honestly, I just thought we were just, like, catching up. Like, it was just a catch-up thing. I knew they were involved in some kind of new business, but I'm not, like, necessarily down with that. I don't know. Self-help things and, like, you know, seminars and whatever. I don't know. It was, like, ominous, but only because of not information. That's the thing. Like, it's like not like anything that was said made me be like, oh, this is just Scientology. I've heard of this or whatever, like anything weird. It was just like, I don't know enough about this, so I'm immediately just filling in all these blanks with like the weirdest shit I've ever heard of.
It was like if a spam bot met you in person, but it also took the form of somebody you grew up with.
Yeah. Oh man, like yeah, it kind of that like you get an email from like an account you have. It's like, oh yeah, no, this is an email from that dude from high school. Oh wait, this is just weird selling me stuff. But the internet, like, someone's making money somehow, so maybe it's fine. I'm just kind of weirded out that I can't be told what it is until I'm, you know, a little more in. Yeah, like, you know, it's like, well, me a couple more times, you know? And it's just like, well, we're just meeting and hanging out, and I don't mind drinking coffee, but like, this is obviously trying to, like, kind of appeal to, you know, some sort of social contract or something. Like, just kind of, I don't know. It was weirding me out, dude. So yeah, I've been just kind of like weirded out by that since it happened. Like, it's been like 24 hours. I don't know what's going to happen, but at the very least, it kind of made me be like, well, if I don't like this job and I'm scared of this weird thing, I should probably like actually look for something good. So I don't know. I'm just like emailing them, like a little more interested in just kind of finding my own way out instead of trusting weird shadow corporation or whatever. I don't whatever. Hey, you guys want some timeshares? Like, I might be in a position to get you some. I don't know. Or like, yeah.
Tell me more about this opportunity, and
So-
how much do I have to pay to get into it?
I don't know how much you have to pay, but links, internet, social networking, these may be things that are involved, but I'm not sure how.
Well,
I
I'll
don't-
tell you one thing. I keep getting
Yeah,
messages on my Pixel Response email that says,
Yeah.
"Let's meet today?" from women, and they all have the same picture, and the only thing that it says is, "This is my photo. I'm online. Let's chat."
Oh man, I finally had something of that nature, like straight up texted to me. And I was like, this is not okay. How did this happen? I'll just read this verbatim. Here's the fun hookup website I told you about at dinner, Chuck. CanadaHooksUpNow.com. A lot easier than bars, wink. Still need a ride today? What the fuck? What is
So
this?
weird.
I don't know.
Oh,
Who
man.
has my number? Who did that?
Did
Chuck?
you click on the link? You should.
No, it's not a link. It's just spelled out. So I don't know. It was like I was like, what is this? Why is this happening now? What was going on? Oh man, Brittany got the same thing. We're on a list somehow.
Oh man,
Run
Pe-
while you still
people
can.
know.
Like it was a weird thing. Like after the meeting, I was like, I feel like someone's watching me, and like there's no reason to think that, but my brain has like, just because there was not enough stuff was spelled out, I'm just going into paranoid movies and thrillers and just weird stuff. I was like, where's
Well,
the
what I want to know
yeah.
is, do you still need a ride, Chuck?
I don't know if Chuck still needs a ride, but yeah.
Wouldn't that be great if it was me just messaging you that?
Like you just got a new phone and didn't tell me yet, so you're
Just like a burner phone.
that
I
would
just
be
like texted you that and then threw it away.
that would be kind of cool. Like, if as long as I eventually find out and it's like, oh, that's fun. Oh, weird. This has been apparently a frequent happenstance with Brittany's phones because she has several numbers between work and herself. So
Sure.
I don't know. Text spam. It's starting to happen. Sorry to kind of take up a big chunk of the show with this. It was just like, that was a thing that happened yesterday, and I wasn't sure what to make of it. So
I do hate running into people you knew, though. Especially at a job you don't like.
yeah.
That
Yeah, even like past former coworkers that I was at a job I did like I just like freeze up weird because it's just like I don't know what even to do right now. Like I'm in kind of like a restricted space, so I can't actually express how I'm feeling because right now I'm feeling I don't like this, but I can't talk about it.
yeah,
So,
I saw a
like-
previous employer and I just fingered him
Okay,
because fuck that guy.
off everybody, like burning all these bridges. I don't.
No,
need
because
you
I don't care. They
Yeah.
burned my bridge. They should have been glad to have me.
Mhm.
So fuck them.
There's like one employer that might, maybe only one. Mostly I've, tried to maintain references and whatever and be okay, but work, weird social run-ins. Even when it's someone I know quite well, like it's just like there was a point where I was just like, oh, cool, the Alien Quadrilogy is on sale at HMV. Whatever, I'm wearing like sweatpants and a shirt I spilled soup on. I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna go there and then leave. Ran into my cousin and his girlfriend, and it's just like, I just look like a greasy hobo right now, and there's no good explanation. Like, I wanted movies. I was just ducking out to get some movies, and then I was back.
Desperate.
Yeah, I was just gonna crawl back in there and cereal or something. Like it was just like. It was just like I crawled out of my lair and then saw somebody I wasn't expecting to. It was just like, all right, I should probably have shaved or something. I don't know. Yeah, my current appearance too. You guys can't see me. I just kept that stash. That's what Movember's for, right? Is you just grow a
You
mustache.
did keep it?
Fuck yeah, I did. I wanted to look
man.
like the 70s all the time because that was the cool time.
I love that you're working in like a tech center touting fucking Apple products with like a mustache.
Yeah, and my hair is like longer than it's been in a while. I like it that way. I'm just gonna keep it. I look scruffy, and I want that. So
I want people to know on the outside how I feel on the inside.
Look out. So as long as that's not a problem, it's gonna happen. Okay. Sorry, I guess we should go around the table or something, get more people in on talking about their weeks or something. I am getting self-conscious about it. I don't want to feel like I'm blowing up somebody's spot. Like, I don't want to say what the name of the thing is or whatever. It's just foremost.
No, I want to know.
No, I can't.
What is the name of the company?
I can't tell you.
Oh, that would give it away?
Well, it would just, like, I don't want to kind of shine negative light on...
Actually, you know what? No, don't shine a light on them at all, because there's no point in giving any attention to it.
What it is, so I don't know whether or not to endorse it or anything. Like, I have no knowledge, and it's creeping me out. Just because, like, how do you spend, like, over an hour talking to somebody and not know, like, and know less than when you went in? Like, it's just like, what is happening? Like, what is this? This feels like a scam, but I don't know enough to know if it is or isn't. Ah! So, yeah. Peter O'Toole died. There, news. Just
Pour one out.
Yeah. We watched a movie that he was in. And
Lawrence of Arabia?
No.
Which one?
The Stuntman.
Okay.
Yeah. Which came out in 1980. It was kind of just a thing. Like, I've been aware of it for a few years because Dave Snyder of Giant Bomb was like a huge fan of that movie. So it was just like kind of, it would come up periodically on my Twitter feed or whatever. And I've had it, like, I downloaded it a few months ago just because I was like, oh yeah, I should watch that. Like, I was having kind of just a 70s, like that kind of era cinema thing, like kind of when I was watching Zardoz. That's an interesting movie. I don't know, like, what to like. That's kind of thing. It's like hard to classify. Like, I guess it's a comedy, like kind of a dark comedy about movie making in a weird way. Like, it's a kind of one of those movies that does meta stuff pretty well, and it was kind of an early one that was doing that stuff. So it's kind of neat to see. Peter O'Toole plays a film director who's kind of very eccentric, and a stuntman on his latest production is killed, but he kind of wants to keep that under wraps for as long as he can so he can finish his movie, because that's going to cause all sorts of weird legal trouble. So this escaped convict dude who ran onto the set is now basically a doppelganger for that dude, and he's kind of trying to keep him disguised as a guy, kind of keep the cops stop them from nosing around or whatever. So he's like doctoring footage of what happened and all this stuff to kind of keep the production rolling. And the movie will, like, frequently just kind of have insane stunt sequences going on, and you're not sure if something actually just went wrong or if it's just part of the movie. But, like, it's about stuntmen, so it'll be like a guy just falls off a building, you're like, oh god! And it's just like, no, that was just a stunt. But then, like, someone else will, like, earlier in the movie, though, like, that guy was in the car accident, and you're just like, oh, did something bad happen? It's like, yeah, that guy's dead. Like, it plays with kind of your expectations of what is happening and what isn't in a weird way, because it's kind of like folding into the movie within the movie periodically. It's cool. It was pretty cool. I don't know. I would generally recommend it. Maybe it, like, in that same way I found Zardoz kind of impressive of just being more dynamic than I expect movies from that era to be. Like, some of the shots and sequences are a little more energetic than I just think of 70s cinema as being. I don't know why. Maybe I should just, at this point, admit I was wrong, and movies from that era are fine. I just didn't watch too many, but yeah. I don't know. But that dude was cool. Lawrence of Arabia, yeah, that is the one many have seen. I guess in this movie, The Stuntman, he's kind of affecting David Lean, the director of Lawrence of Arabia, in his performance, apparently. So the kind of like grandiose, like auteur kind of thing he's putting on is from secondhand experience, I guess. But anyway, sorry guys, I'm gonna mute, not actually mute, but I'm gonna pause. What do you guys want to talk about?
I want to talk about you.
Okay.
Let's talk about you.
Okay. What?
So your name is Nathan.
No, actually, my name's Nathaniel. That's kind of a...
Well, apparently your name's Chuck.
Maybe. Someone is under that impression, yeah.
You like Snoopy.
I like Charlie... Oh, you're saying because Chuck, or what? Because Charles Brown? Is that kind of...
No, because you like Peanuts.
I like Peanuts. Snoopy is a little mainstream for my likes, you know?
It's all that Woodstock, man.
Yeah.
It's all about Charlie Brown for me. Like, the star of the show. But
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, something about it is just like, that's the character I identify with the most, and I find him the most interesting. But then, Snoopy's kind of the guy on all the billboards and the video games and whatever. It's kind of just like, I don't know if this was supposed to happen. Like, I don't know if Charles Schultz meant for this to happen. It's just people like animals more than people, especially sad kids. Just like, yeah, Charlie Brown. He's depressed like all the time, and he's only in grade 3.
That's not fair to say, because I don't like kids, but my favorite type of kids are sad ones.
Okay.
Wow, that seems a little disturbing / dark. I don't like kids. I just like the really sad ones.
Like Haley Joel Osment's character in Sixth Sense, great.
Speaking of which, have you seen pictures of him ever since he stopped being a child and became like an awkward teen and adult?
Kind of secondhand.
He's ugly as shit.
Okay.
The cute little kid just like became the thing of nightmares in people form.
How's that? Like just kind of a baby?
Because he still looks like a kid, only lanky.
Oh, okay.
It's really weird. Yeah.
So he did the reverse of what Jonathan Lipnicki did, basically.
I don't know who that is.
He was the kid who said, the human head weighs 8 pounds in Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, because apparently, he is ridiculously good looking now.
I mean, I'd fuck him.
Just sight unseen, just whatever.
Sure. Apparently, according to some listeners and their fan fictions, that's how I do. So
you roll.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. Haley Joel Osment just looks like a dude. Like whatever. He's just a big dude.
I think he needs to grow a really, really badass beard. Because then it's just like, I was a kid that saw dead people, bitch. Now what? Just sitting at a bar drinking his sorrows. I was a star once. Now I'm here.
Well, I mean, I guess speaking of child stars, we watched Home Alone 2 this week.
Oh, man.
One of the best Christmas movies ever made.
I don't know. It's okay, I guess. It's something about the Home Alone shtick of okay, now it's showtime. Now it's time for the traps. It's just cringy now. It's just oh god, this is horrible. This is so that guy got hit with a brick 4 times. That's not funny. That's scary.
But then it plays the do 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 do.
The music's rad.
Yeah.
It's just dudes getting electrocuted and set on fire. It's just this is really dangerous, weird shit. This is, I don't know. I'm coming around on the mindset of cartoon stuff in live action just kind of inherently doesn't work. Slapstick is kind of just bad. I don't know.
Aren't you a Stooges fan though?
No, I don't know. Not anymore.
Okay. I never was ever. So yeah. I kind of agree with you, although I love Home Alone, but I don't really know why. I think it was just the idea of a kid being able to take on 2 robbers or adults or whatever.
Yeah,
threatening his home.
It's kind of thing. I haven't seen this movie in probably a decade or something. So having changed from now I'm at a point where it's just oh man, the wise kid speaking beyond his years is one of my least favorite cliches, and this is full of that. There's a point where the bird lady is just I don't know what to do with my life, and then Kevin's just dropping pearls of wisdom as if he knows anything about anything. He's 10. And it's just you know what you should do? You should trust people and love more. And it's just what is this shit? What is this? And then she's you know what? You're right. I should try again or something. It's what? It's just this is dumb. This is so dumb. And then yeah, Marv and Harry are totally incompetent, but sort of just I whatever. It's maybe that first one still holds up. I still find it weird. John Hughes eventually just kind of was it's time for slapstick. I'm just gonna cash in on slapstick. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Baby's Day Out. That's one of his movies. What? Remember that movie? Did anyone watch that?
I did watch it. I don't remember it though.
Joe Pantoliano and these other cronies are getting beat up by just just weird mishaps with a baby and a construction site. It's just, again, hammers falling on people and falling in vats of cement, and it's just haha, this is hilarious. It's this is terrible. This is so dangerous. Those guys should just leave. What is going on? I don't know. I'm old now, I guess. Is what I'm saying. I've crossed the line into I don't get it. This is bad. Like,
I did like Home Alone 1 though, more than 2, and I mean,
like maybe it's like that kind
goes
of thing
without
of
saying.
like being alone at home for the first time is kind of awesome. Like I definitely had that moment at some point where it's just like you're old enough to just kind of house sit now, so it's like sweet Godfather marathon, and then just like watch all of them.
And eat ice cream.
Crazy antics I got up to. Yeah, I probably did.
You were basically Kevin. Because he does that in Home Alone 1. He watches a gangster movie that he wasn't allowed to watch while eating ice cream.
And then, yeah, like the weird fake gangster movie that somehow has amazing stereo sound that convinces an entire group of people that it's real. Like the pizza guy in the first movie, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just like, oh god, there's machine guns going off. It's just like, what kind of stereo system do they have in 1990 that is like blowing people's minds to the point where they don't understand?
The best. They were rich, the McAllisters.
The McAllisters are stupid rich. Like all of, like it's also just like the aunt and uncle or whoever that he's like staking out their under construction house in the second one is just like they just own like an entire building.
They own the building in New York, no less.
Like several stories of just like total. Like it's like what the who?
And they're paying to renovate it, obviously.
Yeah, like while they're living in Paris. Like it's just like the McAllisters are, beyond 1%. Like,
well, I mean, it has to make sense. It makes sense that that's why they were targeted in the first movie because they were rich.
Yeah. You need a rich family, or else, like, why would anyone bother stealing their stuff?
Like, that whole neighborhood was rich.
Right.
In Chicago. Like, you should get a better alarm system. You're living in Chicago and you have, like, multi-millions, probably. Like, why don't you shell out the $10 a month for a fucking alarm system?
Right. Their alarm system is just a timer that turns on their lights, isn't it?
No, that's just their timer that turns on their lights. That's not the alarm system.
Oh, that's
really.
Like I thought that was their deterrent. It's just kind of like, oh, someone's home.
Yeah, because it makes it look like somebody's home. It's like nobody's fucking retarded. That's
like if you're not paying attention, you're just like, oh.
Although I guess maybe they are. If the sound of tell you what I'm gonna do, snakes. I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get your like, that whole thing. If that's a deterrent, maybe they are retarded.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you remember it? Say it. Say it right now.
Well, the one in this one is just like, get on your knees and tell me you love me.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like, you know what? I believe you. And that's why I'm going to give you to the count of 3 to get your slimy, lying, rotten keister off my door or whatever. And then he starts shooting. And it's just like, this is so dumb.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Yeah. Like,
and a Happy New Year.
Yeah. Like, it's like hard edge stuff, but it's not. Also, Joe Pesci in like a PG movie. So he's just going like,
instead of swearing.
Because he can't swear. So it's just like the worst stuff just happened to him, but Joe Pesci can't go off like Joe Pesci does. So it's weird. Like, I guess when I was a kid, that was Joe Pesci. Like, he's the guy from Home Alone. I had no idea he was an Oscar-winning guy from Martin Scorsese movies. It's just, no, he's the bumbling idiot in Home Alone and Home Alone 2.
He's kind of always a bumbling idiot, only in the other movies he's more dangerous, maybe.
Yeah, he'll stab you with a pen thing, and then eventually he'll get his in a dumb way. Like, it's like, oh, you shouldn't have trusted Billy Bats. I mean, him and his buddy, they got a bunch of bats, and they're gonna kill you. Casino spoilers. Yeah.
Fucking funny. Anyway.
Joe Pesci.
Anyways, to answer the chat, the other great Christmas movies, Die Hard. Just Die.
Gremlins, how do you feel about that?
Gremlins is pretty good. I haven't seen it in many years. So.
I guess The Weapon is apparently a Christmas movie.
No, fuck Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. Lethal Weapon 2 is better anyway, and it doesn't take place around Christmas, so it's just an action movie. Or is this like kind of a post Mel Gibson meltdown, like fuck everything that dude did?
No, absolutely not. Because Braveheart was still good.
Okay, I just don't hear people talking about any of those movies much at all. Like, it's just not popular right now. To be
What
like,
Women Want was great.
Was it?
No.
I've seen it several times. It's not, but yet I've seen it several times. So
it's always been like the fantasy, though, to know what people are thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So like it just plays on that.
I swear that's just a Twilight Zone episode. Like, they did that already. But I guess not in, like, a sexual 90s context, so that makes it fun. He shaves his legs, man. He's gotta, know how they feel.
Oh, the good old 90s when men were men and sex was sex.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere. It was happening everywhere, except for me, because I was a kid, so thank God for that.
Yep.
Although Macaulay Culkin can't say the same thing when he played Billie Jean in Michael's Bad Touch.
What? Oh.
Wow.
Okay. I was like, is this a movie? I just got it.
Moving on. Yeah, I like how you're like, I just got it.
Anyway, so this week, probably going to watch Richie Rich. Anyway, let's yeah.
That movie's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's
fondly remember it. So
the other movie you should watch is Blank Check.
Okay, yeah. Brittany and I were kind of talking about like dumb 90s comedies that were targeted at us. And yeah, Blank Check came up. Kazam was another. Dunstan Checks In.
Kazam's cringeworthy bad, though. Like, it is actually
all
bad.
All I remember is burgers raining from the sky. So,
speaking of which, you remember Good Burger? Home of the Good Burger?
Oh, yeah, I never saw Good Burger.
It's so gosh.
Dumb. Okay, like Nickelodeon.
I watched it a lot. You know Dodgeball?
Yeah.
It's that, with a burger joint.
Well, now you're Heavyweights was kind of a weird one.
Heavyweights, yeah.
Yeah. But like that was like an Apatow produced movie that has like this weird dark tone in it that shouldn't be there because it wasn't a kid's movie for a while. I don't know. Rocco of Mega 64 is weirdly fascinated with that movie, and apparently the Blu-ray is full of just like R-rated like deleted scenes because it's just they had no supervision on when they were actually shooting it, so it's not the same movie. But yeah, I'm curious about that. Kind of want to check that out.
Dunstan Checks In. I know you love it.
I certainly did at the time, but
don't even front. You've said it before.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but maybe I should just leave that one to memory. I don't know. And then kind of like the latest example of that I still was like, you know what, this movie's actually great, is Big Fat Liar, Frankie Muniz,
right,
and Amanda Bynes, and it's all because of Paul Giamatti's like insane, over the top, scenery chewing performance in that movie. Like he's the
remember
best.
Amanda Bynes?
Barely, like she's the man. I never saw that.
I did see that.
Okay,
it was okay, I guess.
It was Shakespeare adaptation.
Hmm?
Isn't it Shakespeare? Isn't it Taming of the
She's
Shrew?
The Man?
What is that derived from?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
I barely remember it, but like I saw some stuff she's posting on Twitter and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like she's an adult now. That's so weird. Oh, and Volusion in the chat just said The Sandlot. That's the movie right there.
Yes.
I genuinely like that movie, and it's weird because I hate baseball. I don't like it at all, but I love The Sandlot.
Same.
Confession, I've never seen The Sandlot. Rookie of the Year was my baseball movie.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year. There was another one I'm trying to remember now, but I can't remember.
Wait, is like Sandlot, is that like Walter Matthau? Like,
no.
What's that?
Which one was Rookie of the Year?
Oh, I'm thinking of Bad News Bears.
The one with Rookie of the Year was the one where the kid breaks his arm and it like heals and he becomes that ridiculous pitcher. Are we thinking Angels in the Outfield? Was that the other one?
No, the other one I'm thinking of is where a kid becomes owner of the Red Sox or something.
What? I don't know that one. Like I'm thinking of like that dumb Cleveland, like that Charlie Sheen series.
Major League.
League. Yeah.
Major League.
Major League is so good.
Yeah, that is a good one.
But that's not like kid owns the team.
That's not the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, I can't remember.
I'm thinking of like other dumb shit. It's just all flat. It's like Jungle to Jungle, Man of the House with Chevy Chase, Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Jungle to Jungle.
Basically,
wait,
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
That's right, because Man of the House became a movie later on with Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, and that always bothered me because it's like, no, come on, I've seen Man of the House. This isn't it. You can't just name it the same thing. What are you doing? That timeless Chevy Chase classic. How do you feel about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
Best Christmas movie ever. That's the best one.
It's good. I do.
It's pretty good.
Still like it. I've seen it somewhat recently.
It's hard to like anything Chevy Chase is in because he's a dick.
He is, but it's still funny sometimes. You know, like it's not like he's
For sure. Yeah.
never been good. It's just knowing now off screen he's really just terrible is kind of unfortunate, but it doesn't take away the screen stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of movies I haven't like. I think even vacation movies. Like I never saw Europe. Is that good? Is that a good one?
It is. Yeah, it's okay.
Anyway, bad comedies, I guess, or well, whatever 90s movies that were targeted at. Or I mean, goes without saying, but Space Jam is right there as well.
Everybody get up.
Yeah. Which, like, I mean, do people ironically like all of that stuff, or is it like, no, man, Space Jam? I don't know the nature of what's happening.
Like, they probably ironically love it. That's why I like it, because, like, watching it as a movie, it's terrible. But
that was kind of the thing. Like, I would have it on the background and stuff sometimes. Like, I was like, I'm writing an essay, let's just turn on Space Jam in the background. That'll be awesome. And sure enough. But yeah, recently, like I guess what was it, like 10 months ago or something? It's like let's sit down and watch Space Jam, and yeah, that was a little bit of a mistake.
What's your guys' opinion? Sorry,
but still. Oh, okay, sorry. What?
What's your guys' opinion of A Christmas Story? Because I fucking hate that movie.
I never got that movie. Yeah, like I mean, it was like, what is this? And then like my cousins were like, oh man, it's that movie. This is the one with the leg lamp and all this. And like, it's like, okay, like this seems
shoot your eye out.
Yeah, like the BB gun, and then like he says fudge and whatever. Like I've seen it. I just it was never kind of this classic thing for me. It was like that was the generation before mine's favorite Christmas movie or something. So it's just like I don't know what this shit is. It's dumb. But yeah, I don't know. Have you seen that movie? Do you like it? They go for duck on Christmas. I remember that.
I remember that too. For me, I wasn't the biggest fan of A Christmas Story. I mean, obviously it's for me it comes across as one of those movies you kind of have to see it once just so you can say, you know, I've seen it, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to like it. I mean, the fragile jokes, the leg lamp, like that stuff is funny, and you know, it's fun watching other people reference A Christmas Story in other media, but otherwise it doesn't really do much for me.
Yeah. Bob Clark is kind of one of those directors.
If that kid isn't dead yet, he should be.
Why do you hate that kid? What's wrong with that kid?
Fuck that kid.
He'd only be like 35 or something. That's
told you, I don't like kids.
All hate kids, exactly.
Unless they're sad. So if he's a sad kid,
he was kind of sad. He couldn't get that BB gun. So
that's not true sadness. Wait until he loses his parents and has to bury them on Christmas. That's the real Christmas story. Is that his parents both died and he had to bury them on Christmas Day. Merry fucking Christmas. That's the real story right there. That's the story I want to hear.
I was going to say, hey, drink your Ovaltine. He was bummed out that was the message. But, you know, he's a sad kid, but all right. Not sad enough. Like, just total tragedy needs to strike for Paul to care.
Only to kids, and they have to be genuinely sad about it. I need to eat their tears.
I don't even know what fits your criteria now. I'm trying to think of, like, any...
Kid tears sustain me.
So, like, Raiden in Metal Gear, you know, gets taken away and becomes Kid Soldier. Is that horrible enough?
It's pretty good. It's kind of like a wet dream.
All right. Like this is just that Cards Against Humanity card at some point. So I don't know.
How do you feel about that game? Because like I was so into it when it came out.
Yeah. Sorry, did you continue or do
there's
you want me to,
there's like, no, that's it. When it came out, I was interested in it. I don't care.
Like you kind of just need to keep feeding it new cards, or else it's just going to be stale again. Like you're just like. It's like, you know, same way comedians need to get new material. It's just kind of like these cards are kind of trotted out. Like I've seen them too many times. Like it kind of doesn't work. That said, we did have some great kind of completely random combinations thanks to continuing to have rando in the game. So it just kind of combinations of cards that don't make any logical sense but create kind of a just funny notion. So I don't know. I still think there's something to that game in terms of just fun party thing, but I mean, yeah, the luster's worn off it a little bit. I'm honestly just kind of sitting here wondering where all my holiday stuff is, because it's like 4 days in to where I should have been receiving things, and it just hasn't happened. You know, like their holiday promotion thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, did I give them the wrong address or something? Like, is Canada Post already slacking off? Like, what's going on?
Canada Post around this time gets fucking insane.
Okay, so they're just like buried in parcels, and they're just like, whatever.
I remember one year when we had to do mail, they were saying, like, if you ship something through mail, don't expect to get it for, like, 3 weeks. Because they were so backed up.
Okay. So, like, the fun thing of, like, a new package every day might not happen. There's like, dude, we keep getting dumb shit from the same address. Let's just collect all of it and then give it. Or something. Like, I don't know.
If you're lucky. If you get it before Christmas.
If we get it at all. I guess that was the other thing. I was, like, just thinking through, like, okay, I got a game guide for Link Between Worlds today, and then I was just like, wait a minute, where's the Majora's
After
Mask
you finished it?
After I could explain, I guess, but it was basically like a Christmas gift from the store. So
okay.
I had to choose something, and I was like, sure, okay, this is fine. And I'm playing it actually again on Heroes Quest, which is the first time I've done that in a long time. It's just like, as far as I can tell, it's just you take way more damage than you ever did before is the only thing that's changed. So it's just kind of totally fucked. It's just like, oh yeah, you accidentally walked into one of those like green things that doesn't actually attack you. It just kind of wanders around, and you lost 2 hearts, and then a bat flew down at you, and now you're dead. Like, it's just bam, bam, dead. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep fighting through that or what, but
to be fair, heroes don't walk into green things that wander. They kill them.
You're right. Like, it's kind of cool because you have to be like way more mindful of how you're approaching everything now. Like, it's just like, oh, I'm actually going to use the shield now. I basically didn't before because whatever, I'll just fight until like I'm down to 1 heart, and then I have a fairy in the bottle anyway. Don't worry about it. But yeah, now it's actually like, no, this is dangerous. So I might still play some more of that, but whatever. The Club Nintendo award from like last season hasn't shipped yet? Is that?
Well, it's Nintendo.
I guess, but it just seems crazy. Like, where is it? Where's my Majora's Mask soundtrack? I want to listen to that. What's going on?
I don't know. It's probably on the internet at piratebay.org.
Brittany was platinum tier. I was gold. I don't even know what I got. A calendar or something? That's going to be useless. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's why. Because there's a calendar on the same order. So they're just like, well, we'll wait until 2014. I don't know. I'm just, reminded of weird things.
Can I go back to Christmas for a second?
Yeah, Christmas. It's more pertinent than ever right now.
Just because in the chat right now, they're talking about the Grinch who stole Christmas. Or how the Grinch stole Christmas. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, first, what's our opinion of it? But even better is they're talking about, like, the community in this whole thing. So apparently I'm Grinch, you're Max, and Meowth is Cindy Lou who was no more than 2.
I'm the dog? That's okay. That dog was funny. Like, that dog got a lot of laughs in that thing, so I'm okay with this, I guess. He had, like, a single antler, like, kind of tied to his head.
Maybe we should do a Christmas special where we, like, recite that or something.
I like it. I mean, we're talking about the animated cartoon. I've only seen the Ron Howard travesty once, and it was really bad.
I've never seen it, and I never will, because I particularly don't love Jim Carrey as it is, let alone in something from my childhood that I actually liked.
Sorry, what was that?
I was saying I haven't watched it, and I won't, because I don't like Jim Carrey as it is, let alone destroying something from my childhood, which I did like.
Like, maybe it's not, like, bad. It's one of those things where it's just like, this is just not necessary. Like, you already had a perfectly fine, succinct, like, hour-long thing with Boris Karloff, like, narrating, like, you're good. But then they're like, no, well, let's spice it up a little, get some 21st century comedy in there. Yeah, just kind of what's happened with Dr. Seuss properties in recent years. Like, I have no interest in seeing the Lorax. Cat in the Hat is probably so bad I should watch it. Like, that seems like one of those things where it's like, you need to, come on, you need to watch this. It looked train wrecky in a way.
It was bad.
But
I'd love to hear you savage it, honestly.
have you seen it?
Oh, I wish I hadn't.
Okay.
But I'd be lying if I say that I didn't.
It is actually really bad. I had a cousin that was
really bad.
I had a cousin that was young, like growing up and stuff during Christmas. They would go through all that shit.
Like, is it that kind of thing of just like slapstick dumb shit, or is it like?
I mean,
how do they pad out like 20 pages to 2 hours or whatever, or even 80?
Oh, they
minutes?
don't. Like the cat comes, and then the rest of it is just whatever they wanted to do, and then it ends.
Like that was kind of the thing that knocked Mike Myers down a few pegs, right? Like, wasn't that kind of the fall? Like,
besides
Guru.
Austin Powers.
Well, Austin Powers was kind of the height of his popularity.
But in his quality after Goldmember.
Yeah, I'm not like, I mean, Wayne's World 2 is kind of the stuff I actually thought was good, and then
I Married an Axe Murderer, the one nobody remembers.
I Married an Axe Murderer.
Is it funny? Like, should I watch it? Like,
it's so good. It's kind of dark, but it's really funny watching Mike Myers playing as a beat poet. It's very, very funny.
Okay.
It is actually quite good, and there's a lot of things like he thinks that his wife or fiance or whatever is a murderer, right? Mm-hmm. So like a whole bunch of like weird like normal everyday things are construed in his mind as like this is bad. Like, this is a sign. It's just, like, normal. Yeah. It's really good, actually. It's quite good.
Okay. I mean, I've just never thought to watch it, so maybe...
That's fair. You know what else I never thought to watch, but I actually kind of liked, is It Could Happen to You with Nick Cage.
Okay. I did watch that as part of my Nick Cage, like, quests of late, but how do you feel about it? Like, did you check it out?
I kind of like it. Like... for a weird like chick flick type thing. It was okay because I mean
it's like really sincere in a way
it has the Cage in it.
So. Yeah, and he's got a cool mustache. You know, it's like
he's a cop.
He's a cop. Bridget Fonda.
Oh, is that the one with the cop, the lottery ticket, and the waitress?
Yeah.
That actually is a good Cage movie. It's fairly watchable.
I'm trying to like it. Kind of, if I recall, it kind of loses energy. So isn't Rosie Perez just annoying in it?
Yeah. In general, yes.
Well, yes, but in that movie, like that's her. Well, maybe that's the role she gets is annoying person. But yeah, I seem to recall 80 minutes in or something being like, all right, I'm pretty much done with this movie. Like kind of before it was over, but sit through it. Like it's based on something, isn't it? Like one of those extremely, elaborated on, like not actually. I don't know. I don't remember. 90s movies. This is just the thing we're talking about now. This is films from the 90s. Whether or not they were good. Okay, Mike Myers. We were talking about Mike Myers, Austin Powers. Yes, Love Guru. Yes, that was the nail in the coffin as far as.
Love Guru was pretty awful.
Isn't Justin Timberlake in it?
Yes, he is. He is a hockey player, I believe. He played for. I think they featured the team. It was the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The best team in the league.
Oh, I guess
no.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
I actually one of my coworkers is a Toronto fan, and
okay.
Like every time he talks about it, I'm just like that has to be the most heartbreaking thing to be a Toronto Maple Leafs fan because it's
if you ever want to troll him, just show up wearing a Boston jersey.
He hates Vancouver. So I could do that.
Okay, Vancouver works. But Boston's particularly powerful because Game 7 of the playoffs last season, Toronto had a 3-0 lead in Game 7. They went on to lose 4-3 in overtime.
Well, they just leafed it. So
it was beyond leafing at that point.
Have they not won a cup in like decades or something? Is this kind of like hockey equivalent?
It's a pretty long drought for them. They hadn't made the playoffs for ages, and then they made it in, and then just completely blew it when they were in basically the best position at almost any time throughout the series to just knock out a team and move on. But then it just became just the heart-crushing existence that is the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Huh. All right. I don't I've not been following hockey since that
They're
historic
one
season.
of the original 8, so they have a
Original
big
6.
following. 6, yeah, even further actually, yeah.
So they have
Yeah.
kind of a long legacy, but okay.
Yeah, they're one of the 6 oldest teams and one of the 3 oldest Canadian teams. I believe it's 3. Is it 3? Oh God, I'm a hockey person. I should know this. Chicago, Boston, New York, Detroit. Yeah, it's 2 Toronto. It's 2 Canada teams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's them and Montreal that are the 2 oldest Canadian teams in the NHL.
Yep.
Weird. I guess I would have thought it all started up here and then spread, but okay. I do not know about hockey history. I apologize. Wait. Oh, sorry. I was just reading, like, I mean, we were kind of talking about Christmas movies, and I just read a list today that brought up The Ref as an interesting Christmas movie. Have you seen
Never
it?
saw. No.
Oh, that was a Christmas movie. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've been curious about it for a while just because I like Kevin Spacey, but I don't know. Apparently it's a snarky couple bickering on Christmas, and then a thief breaks into their house and comic mayhem ensues. Yeah. Dennis Leary.
Yeah. Yes.
Good, or have you seen it?
I enjoyed it. My parents were also rather big fans of it. They like a lot of the stuff that Dennis Leary does. So, but it is very funny because you have the couple that's bickering, and he breaks in, and he basically becomes like a mediator for the 2.
Okay.
So it's like he breaks in and gets himself in way deeper than he could have possibly imagined. Because he's like, I was just coming here to steal your stuff, but then he ends up becoming like a mediator between these 2.
Okay.
And
sounds like an
it's
opportunity for some loud acting, like crazy performances. I don't know.
Very much. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I don't think you'd be too disappointed if you invested the time in it.
Okay. So there you go. I mean, I guess we've been talking about movies it's like we'd want to see or whatever. I guess do you want to just do, hey, what's your favorite Home Alone? You already said. Jingle All the Way has a weird place in my heart.
I love Jingle All the Way.
But it still does. We watched it last year, and we're still amused by how dumb it is. But
it's so
fine.
I remember I got the car because they were giving away like a cheap version of the car that like drove backwards and forwards and like popped up on a spring and spun around at like 76 gas stations one year. And I remember I got one for Christmas because that was like a big thing because of that movie.
Nice.
And it was like, this is like the most random piece of shit I've ever seen.
I don't even is there a point where a gas station falls apart or something? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I don't know what the affiliation was between 76 and this movie, but apparently it was a big enough deal.
Okay. Sinbad.
Back then anyways.
Remember Sinbad?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He's probably still around. I don't know what he's doing, but probably.
I wish he was dead too.
Why? What? Dude, come on. He's got that. He's a mailman in that movie. We're just talking about, Hey, speaking of mail, Canada Post is not doing their job anymore come 2014 or something. What is it? Did you follow this? Do you know?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now, but they haven't been doing their job arguably for years.
Apparently community boxes for everybody. Like no more to your door delivery. Seems to be the thing.
I can't remember the last time I had to your door.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
you like community boxes?
I've never had one, so I know what it is. I just never did that. And it's like to have to walk to get your mail. It's like, I already don't want mail. Like all it is bills. So
I don't even get bills in the mail anymore. They're all electronic.
I just haven't made something about their websites or something. It's like I don't want to sign up because I know this email me. I don't like you. MasterCard.
Yeah, you don't like people.
I don't like companies.
That's true. I know you don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. So they're not doing their jobs even more so than usual. That'll be interesting, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't affect me at all because I don't get mail ever. And when I do, it's a bill, so fuck it.
Yeah. How do you feel about Elf? I'll just keep going back to Christmas movies whenever there's a lag. Will Ferrell.
Elf or Alf? Okay, I thought you said Elf, and I was just like, he ate cats. So
Yeah, all right. We could talk about Alf as well, but Elf, Will
you know
Ferrell,
how I feel about Will Ferrell.
You don't like him?
That movie, that movie is everything I don't like about Will Ferrell.
Okay, like him singing loudly and and being kind of a man-child. You don't like man-children humor.
Well,
Okay.
from him especially, but yeah.
So, how excited are you for Anchorman 2? Like, should I invite you?
Like, not overly, but I did like Anchorman because I thought there was at least some substance there, more than just screaming the whole time.
Like, they're actually going for gags and jokes and trying to...
It felt like there was writing there, so it was okay.
Okay. I'm not sure there was. I think it's a lot of improvisation, but...
It probably was, considering the people that are in it.
Yeah.
But maybe it just, like, flowed better or something.
Mm-hmm. That movie's really dumb. Like, we watched that again. And, like, I watched it again. Brittany saw it for the first time. And it was just kind of like... I don't know. This thing where it's just like maybe in, like, that kind of airplane way, where it's just kind of going for stupid gags.
Like, well, like, if you could take slapstick and, like, make slapstick with words, that's what that movie is.
Like, just kind of going for broad, goofy. It's like, I got a boner, and that's the joke. It's just like, he's got a boner.
So it's a pretty good joke.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, who hasn't been there?
Stick to that joke for a while, but it's still just kind of like, all right, like, this is really, really stupid. But I just still like the fight, the giant fight that happens.
The fight's great. That's, like, the best part of that movie.
Jack Black getting hit with a burrito. Like, there's just things that happen over the course of that movie where it's just like, all right, this is okay. Like, I will see more of these characters, but I don't know. They've been pretty aggressive in their promoting it. Like, just Ron Burgundy everywhere. He has a book out. Like, this, I don't know. Like, also the what's the thing? Just him guesting on a bunch of news places. I don't watch news, so I wouldn't ever see these things. But it's like, he's on SportsCenter or whatever. Like, yeah, I don't know. Paul Rudd showing that clip from Mac and Me on Conan,
Yeah.
Promotions.
Sure.
For movies. I'll watch it. We already kind of have tentative ones. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry. Or whatever. Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, are we doing a movie of the year, like movie stuff? Because if we are, I need to catch up on probably at least 5 of the big ones I missed this year.
I like talking movies. Sean
asked me if we're doing it.
Right. Kind of in the same way, like, I'm just taking lists and awards and things less seriously than ever before. This year, I don't know why that's happened, but there's been some cool movies this year that I wouldn't mind kind of talking about and stuff. So,
okay. We can do a thing.
We can do that.
Okay.
Hey, The Hobbit. I forgot. That was kind of a big thing, right? That was a big movie.
I guess. I was working the weekend here that it came out, so I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, Tony, you seen The Hobbit?
No, I am one of the rare breed of people that honestly I can't get into the Lord of the Rings. I don't know why. I tried reading the books, I tried watching the movie, and it just didn't do it for me. I couldn't get into it.
Is that just fantasy in general, or
I think it has a little bit more to do with the fact in fantasy in general, and maybe because at the time I was trying to watch it because I wasn't into it and I didn't really care about it, that it just didn't really do anything. I mean, maybe it's been 10 years since I tried that. Maybe I try again and see if it perhaps catches my attention. But it's one of those things that fantasy and me, we don't usually get along. It's usually a pretty much bare knuckle boxing in a barn somewhere. I mean, really.
Okay. I mean,
but I'll give it another chance. I will not say that I've given up on it, but it may have given up on me a long time ago.
They are pretty long, and I guess like the books, I've kind of, when I was first reading them, I definitely petered out a couple times before I just decided to read them all because I don't know, that was the zeitgeist thing. The whole zeitgeist, everyone's talking about it, kind of compels in weird ways. But yeah, Hobbit is different in that it's like a pretty short book, but it's drawn out a lot.
I don't like that. Yeah.
It's kind of weird because it's like 250, like 300 pages or something. Like, it is not a long read, but they're
But
just
it's still 3 movies.
They're just obviously padding it out with stuff, and like occasionally it's like, well, they have more to kind of delve into. Like, it's very much treating it like a prequel trilogy to the Lord of the Rings. Like, they're just putting in foreshadowing to the ring, like more explanation of what Gandalf's been up to, because that kind of leads to Sauron coming back and all this stuff. Like, it's just like things that the book had no interest in, because it's just like, there are dwarves, they want to take back their homeland and get treasure. There's a dragon. Like, it's pretty simple stuff. And I kind of like that simple stuff. Like, this is like doing classic dark middle chapter stuff with like a bunch of bad shit happening, ending on kind of just the darkest note they could find, which wasn't even one I anticipated as being an ending note. Like, it was very much like, oh, really? You're just gonna not even have the thing finish up? And it's just like, nope. See you next year. So in those ways, I was maybe a little annoyed with it, but I think I'm just gonna, like, I am legitimately impressed by 48 frames, like what that does to fidelity of the special effects you're seeing on the screen. Like, that's kind of just a cool thing to see. So like, that's just a technical thing. That's not normally how you're supposed to appraise a movie, but there is a scene where Bilbo is standing on like the biggest pile of gold I've ever seen. And it was like, this is so awesome looking. Like, the coins are cascading in a way that just looked so cool. I was like, man, this is awesome. So, dumb nerd thing. I don't know. They do treasure hoards right in The Desolation of Smaug. And yeah, there's
Which they have to do
in it. Yeah, there's a big dragon in it. He has Benedict Cumberbatch's voice, but it's like modified a bit. And that's pretty cool. They drag that stuff out too. Like, any opportunity they have to just like put more action scene stuff in it, they do, which results in some amazingly entertaining dumb things. Like, so in the book, they escape from the elves via barrels. That's a pretty uneventful thing in the book. They hide in the barrels. It's kind of a stealthy thing, and then they float down the river. It's kind of a bumpy ride, but nothing really happens. In this, there are orcs attacking them while that's going on. There are elves fighting the orcs, and at one point, Legolas pulls off like just what I can only describe as a combo that was kind of mesmerizing to watch. It is just like the dumbest, twirling around, shooting 2 orcs with 1 arrow, then he like stands on a dwarf's head and like spins for some reason and avoids an arrow. Like, just dumb stuff. But it was like, this looks so crazy. Like, I am so happy right now that someone was like, this needs to happen in a movie. Let's spend millions of dollars and make it happen. And like, I was like, all right. And then there's a bit where like a fat dwarf is in a barrel and it's just bouncing, and it wipes out like kind of Jamie Lee Curtis in True Lies style, like a bunch of dudes. You know, like when she like dropping the Uzi, it's like that, but it's a barrel and it's just bouncing for like a minute, and the music goes away and the crowd just starts laughing at the absurd thing happening. So there was some great kind of just like big spectacle moments that I thought were totally worth it. But yeah, they're taking their sweet time telling this story, and it's kind of weirdly frustrating. Years down the road, when it's all just out and it's just another trilogy you have, or not, like, or whatever, like, it might be kind of, yeah, whatever, let's watch this dragon, Martin Freeman goes on an adventure, and it's okay, and there's beards. Like, yeah, it's fun, but it is kind of weird seeing how much time they're just taking and telling the story, and then just adding bonus stuff, like just Evangeline Lilly. That her character isn't from anything, but they just kind of put that in there. And I mean, in a way, they're kind of exploring the racism between elves and dwarves in a way that's kind of, hey, that's something to kind of think about, but it's not necessary. Like, it's kind of just superfluous. So yeah, I totally get why critics are way more lukewarm on these movies. They're definitely less pure in their intention or whatever, but there's fun to be had. But yeah, if you're not already down with kind of all of this stuff, I don't think this is a place to start at all. This is like kind of, if you're already way into Lord of the Rings, we figured out a way to make more of that. And if that doesn't sound like a thing, like don't watch that. Don't do it.
My cat smells really good.
Okay.
I don't know why. I think he got into some like those laundry things or something, or like in clean laundry. He smells like clean laundry.
Oh man, yeah, cats rolling in clean laundry. Like I get why they do it, and yeah, also probably results in a smelly cat, but like a good smelly cat.
For some odd reason, if cats are really clean, like I've had a couple of cats who were very much, they would be in the middle of sprinting gleefully throughout the house and then just, oh, dirty, stop, and clean. Like, clean cats have a different smell to them. It's very strange. I know I'm going to sound weird because I've owned cats pretty much all my life, but it's true. Clean cats have a different smell, and they kind of do sometimes smell like laundry.
Just from licking themselves, they somehow produce.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Like, I can't explain it, but just a clean smelling cat is, you could have a lot worse. You could walk
maybe
into
this goes the other way. Like maybe it's like laundry companies are like looking into cat saliva.
That'd be amazing for
Yeah,
the cleaning properties.
So you're you're like, oh, it smells like laundry, and you're like, no, actually,
it smells like cat.
Your laundry smells like cat. You just didn't know. Yeah.
And it's one of those just mind blown.
Maybe, but probably not. I don't work for Tide.
Yeah, probably not. But it's. I mean, it kind of goes both ways. It's like a clean cat has this very unique smell. On the other hand, you walk into the office after they've used a litter box, run as fast as you can.
I'm glad. I'm kind of glad I don't have a cat right now. Like, it was cool, but yeah, we just gave him back essentially to.
My family has always owned one cat for as long as I can remember, and we jokingly, when I was younger, my family called ourselves the Cat Ranchers, because at one point, including cats and present litters of kittens that we had, I think we had somewhere in the neighborhood of 22. I think.
Ugh.
Yeah, we were
like at a dozen or something when we were out on the acreage, but yeah, not.
Yeah, most of our kitties, we had to herd them inside at nighttime. Most of them would live in the garage, except for the few that lived inside the home. And, we had a lot. We took care of them all. It's not like we had, these bazillion cats and didn't take care of them. Because I think those kind of situations are wrong. When you have so many animals and you just let them fall into neglect. That's wrong. We never did that.
It is, yeah. Then you get episodes like that Hoarders episode where Lady was hoarding cats.
I'm excited about Mutagenics. That's going to be awesome.
I want to see more about this game because it looks so interesting. And I know Ed McMillan is going to do something very interesting with this game. But the thing is nobody knows what exactly this game is about. I'm very curious as a cat person to see, okay, what's going to be your take on this? Because you have given us some deliciously twisted stuff through the Basement Collection, Super Meat Boy, and then, of course, how can you get more twisted than trying to kill your own mother in The Binding of Isaac?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm just from the way it's going to play, I'm assuming it's kind of just like weird Sims, like hoarder Sims, but maybe I'm wrong. Like maybe there's a more mechanical thing to do, but I think you're kind of like watching a simulation and then tweaking it and weird stuff happens, but I'm not really sure. Just based on that comic book I got.
Yeah. That sounds like the most accurate representation of it, but he's deliberately keeping people in the dark about it, and I think that's nice because the closer this game gets to release, the more hype it's going to build up because it's going to be, okay, really, what is this game?
I hope so. I don't know. Is it
That's
black
what I
and
hope.
White? Is that kind of what they're doing?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to go grayscale with it, and to be honest, I'm kind of okay with that.
Mm-hmm. You can get, I don't know, just through animations and whatever, a lot of character. I don't know. Just that it's Tommy and him teaming up, like specifically, it's Team Meat. Like that's the combo I want. So.
Oh, for sure, because then you get somebody that can actually program a game.
Well, just we've had issues with the processor, like I mean, talk about, I don't know, graphically whatever games not running well, which is weird. Like, yeah, that was one that just confused me. It's just like, this should work. I mean, I was just playing.
Like, how is this overhyped fucking Flash game, Binding of Isaac, not running at 60 frames per second on like a Pentium 2.
Anything. Yeah.
It's just so poorly coded in Flash, and that's what makes me really excited and terrified about Rebirth, because Rebirth is going to fix a bunch of those problems, and also it's going to basically make even the most seasoned of Isaac players rethink their entire game. Because they're adding.
Is that coming out? Like, is that?
They're saying 2014. There's still no definitive date behind it, but I believe they're aiming for winter. But don't quote me on that. I honestly am not 100% sure.
Okay.
But they're adding a bunch of new items to it, more floors, more bosses, more enemies, more characters, basically more of everything, and then taking away a bunch of the things that made Isaac like so unique in certain aspects, but fixing it to be like the way it was meant to be in the original, but was unable to do so because of coding limitations. I mean, McMillan himself has even said, I am surprised that Binding of Isaac works in its current form, because it's so filled to the brim in Flash coding that they can't even patch some of the problems that the game has. And he's said that, and I think by them
that seems super short-sighted a move to do. Like, let's make a game and make sure we can't fix the problems. That's so bad.
I don't think it was necessarily a short-sighted move. It was just that they didn't expect the coding to get as
like to bog,
outrageously crazy as it did. Yeah, exactly.
Right, but then why are you charging me like, what was it at the time, $5 or something?
I paid like $2. Like,
oh, now, of course, you pay like 50 cents. You're overpaying for that game now.
Nah, that game's fine. I mean, I'm trying to, like, I was actually kind of curious, like, what is the thing that keeps people coming back for like 100+ hours? Because like, I beat Mom once, and I was like, okay, I won. Like, is there more?
You didn't beat Isaac.
Oh yeah, there's way more than
beating Mom is only like half the game.
Okay,
yeah,
like I just didn't know that. That seemed to be like the story. So I was like, okay, I won the story, and then I haven't really clicked it again. But
yeah, the story
like every time it's like
crazy.
There's more things to see and more.
Yes.
Oh, it gets way harder after Mom too.
After you kill Mom's heart, it gets way vicious.
Okay.
It gets very vicious.
That's honestly good to know, because I thought it was just like, oh, people are just enjoying the experience of running through this so much that they're doing it over and over. But okay.
No. There is, dependent on which route you take after killing Mom's heart, there's either one more floor or there can be up to 2 more.
Okay.
Right.
And if you go that up to 2 route, it is blisteringly punishing. But it's so good.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
You're just being devil's advocate? Like, what? This is a little
not necessarily, because
like, this is bullshit.
A little bit,
the worst Flash coding in my years of experience. Like,
that's actually true. I mean, you can still like something and it was made poorly. I mean, people listen to our podcast.
Yeah, I should buy a new mic or something. But.
That's not what I meant. I don't know what you're talking about with that, by the way.
Like long-winded rambles about Christmas movies or what?
No.
Stuff. People need to know that it could happen to you is okay.
No, I was kidding. I was kidding about what I just said, but what I said is what I was meaning by that's not what I meant or whatever. For anybody that doesn't know, Nathan is a little critical about how he sounds, which I don't understand because I think it sounds fine. But I got this message
in headphones, maybe. Anyway.
Yeah, I got this message the other day where he's just like,
I sound like I'm in a tin can or something?
Yeah, it's a tin can. Weird. It's like, no, you don't at all.
It's like I'm in a submarine and you're, recording it. And then, I don't know.
We could add some like beeps and stuff to make it sound like you're actually in a submarine.
Well, it's kind of echoes. Or
like, just hear that little background noise of the radar going off. That pop.
Yeah, if I like.
Did you like listen to something on speakers then, like in the car? I'm guessing.
No, it was just on the home computer here. I was just kind of like, oh, this episode, I'm gonna listen to this bit where we talked about the thing, and I was like, oh God, this is what I sound like. It was just kind of this little thing. So,
more importantly, and I didn't ask you this before.
Yeah.
How do I sound?
Fine, like way better than me anyway. So it's like, oh,
I can breathe again. I should have asked you that.
Or else, like, people are like, oh, why is this, weird long distance conversation? I don't know. We
It's
should
not
meet
long
up
distance even. Yeah, we could just meet up.
Yeah, just drive on down
and then the fanfic comes true.
Oh,
you weirded
God.
me out, like, telling me, because I've never seen it, and then you're like, oh, I can bring some beers or something, and you're just like, that's how it starts. I was like, what?
Yeah,
What are you
it
talking
is
about?
how it starts.
I didn't know that. I legitimately have. Now I'm just not gonna come over. Like, I'm just creeped out. So yeah,
Game Dude's dead. Confirmed.
you need to finish that though too. Like, okay, I don't know. We'll talk after about proper scheduling business, but okay.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, okay, so yeah, no, Binding of Isaac's fine. Like, it's fun. I have fun with it the few times I do play it. I have more fun watching people that are like decently good, that know what all the power-ups do and like how to game some things and stuff, play it. I have more fun doing that than I do playing it myself, because I don't know any of that shit and I'm not going to learn it. But
it's really fun watching the I don't know if you've heard of it, the Binding of Isaac Racing League.
I haven't heard of that. I've been watching Northern Lion on YouTube.
Okay. The Binding of Isaac Racing League, it was something that was done not too long ago. They wrapped up, I believe, about 6 weeks ago. But what they did was they got 32 people together who play Isaac like really, really well, put them in a regular season that was basically like an NFL style schedule where each person represented a team and they played these people, and they did playoffs where they did races to beat the game in a best 2 out of 3 format as fast as they could.
Is this what Boiler Room is?
This is what Boiler is, the Binding of Isaac Racing League. It's run by Crumps 2, actually.
Okay.
So he did a phenomenal job with that, but that's where I learned actually how to play Isaac quite well, aside from watching a couple of other people like Northern Lion and Lethal Frag and people like that. Like, I watched those guys, and from there I kind of learned how to play the game, and I owe a lot of my knowledge in playing Isaac to that.
Okay.
But watching top level people race through the Binding of Isaac in an effort to kill Mom first in a best 2 out of 3 it can be really, really riveting stuff.
I've heard discussion of this stream and it being really cool. I haven't checked it out personally. So
if you're even remotely interested in Binding of Isaac races, like, that is the place to look at, is the Boiler.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have much more to say about
Lamb? Is that the okay.
Yeah, Wrath of the Lamb is the expansion. And do you have that by chance?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so that's the thing. If you didn't have the expansion, then basically you were done with the Binding of Isaac. But since you have Wrath of the Lamb, after killing Mom's Heart is basically just the beginning.
Okay, so they've added stuff. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
more items, more trinkets.
Items. Yeah, but if there's more, like, bosses or something, then that's something to shoot for.
Definitely. And Rebirth is going to just make it even crazier, just because of some of the things that they're changing, some of the things that they're fixing. Because it'll be interesting watching people that originally could game pieces of the Isaac system. Like, they're not going to be able to do some of those tricks anymore.
Okay. I have pretty limited knowledge of it. Like, I've just done the vanilla thing, so okay.
Yeah, no worries. It's still a good game, though. I love it. It's probably one of the few games in my Steam library that I've obsessively looked at and gone, I am going to Platinum God this game. Which is beating everything, collecting every item, beating every character with every character.
Is that, like, to get all the achievements, or is that...
Yeah, Platinum God is basically getting every achievement, finding all 198 items and all the trinkets, as well as beating all of the final floors with all of the characters.
Okay.
It is vicious.
Good luck. I don't know. That sounds...
I have it. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be the show-off. I Platinum got it. It took
you already did. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yes. It took me about 230 hours to pull it off.
Okay.
It's time sink.
This is kind of... I don't know. Like, in relation to how much time I've been spending with Splunky, that's kind of been a thought process as well, in terms of like the value you can get out of games, like $10, $5 for hundreds of hours of potential enjoyment versus like a scripted like thing that's like, well, it's like 4 hours.
Or free. A free game that you get into for hours.
Or sure, yeah, like people expend hundreds and hundreds of hours playing Dota, or Hearthstone's apparently pretty good. Like this kind of stuff where it's just like no one's reviewing with that kind of, you know, we want the game to take up all of your time. Like they're trying to kind of, that's not a criteria, that's not a priority, right? Because they can't review that game then, you know? So, because they're never done. You're never finished. And by the time you are, like, it's already so far past where a review even makes sense. So only I guess what I'm saying is kind of like only certain types of games can even be reviewed. So I don't like. Is there a Metacritic for like Binding of Isaac? Did people decide to?
Oh yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there is.
How is that score determined? Like it sounds like some of these high level players are way more like they're the people you want to look at. Not like, well, I played like 10 hours of it. It seems pretty cool. 9 out of 10. Like, who cares what you think? Like, you're not even anywhere near invested enough to know. Like, I don't know. It's just, yeah.
Binding of Isaac's at 84 meta score and 8.2 user.
Okay. I guess I keep coming back to like, I think Steam reviews are better. Just because it has hours played, like you know who's speaking and you know how legit they are. So it's just like, is this just going to replace the current way? Because it's just like, yeah, this is an experienced player. This guy has spent, like, you know, like there was guys like this guy spent 67 hours playing State of Decay, says it's pretty rad. That guy would know. All right, I'll give it a try. And then I was like, yeah, this is great. So I don't.
Do you want to know Spelunky's meta? Do you want to know Spelunky's Metacritic?
I guess, but
64.
Like, really?
No, it's 90.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the it's one of the higher reviewed PC games of this year. Actually,
it's right there with Brothers.
I mean, that's kind of the weird thing. Like, I mean, people look at that as kind of like this positive thing. It's like, man, there's so much variety in the world of video games. But at the same time, it's kind of just like, unlike films, even with film critics, like I start to care less and less about what they think. Like, is there any place anymore for this like elite group of super enthusiasts that we look to for their opinions, or is it just like, nah, whatever? Like, who cares? Like, I don't. Whenever someone says like, well, IGN gave it 9.5, they don't say a name. It's just IGN. Who is that? Like, who actually wrote it? I don't know any people from there. You know, like, so it's. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of, I don't even check Metacritic at all for anything anymore. Like, I mean, Steam rolls it into the thing. Like, it's just there right on the dash for you, but it kind of is in insignificant number now. It's like sort of meaningless because I don't have enough information from who is providing this. And that was kind of a thing I was thinking back on, like, to a decade ago. Like, I went to our local newspaper for a job shadowing like assignment, and was kind of asking around. Like, he's like, "Oh, this is the guy. This guy that reviews video games." Kind of was talking to him, and through that conversation, found out like he doesn't finish like almost anything. He has no time to do that. You know, he doesn't finish the games, but he has to write reviews because that's just the way it is. There's deadlines and stuff. So his 5 out of 5 for Silent Hill 3 is kind of worthless now because he probably didn't even finish it. And that was kind of just a weird thing where it's just like, well, this is like a published dude who's sharing these opinions and kind of speaking authoritatively in his writing, but isn't being transparent about how knowledgeable he actually is on this subject.
I don't agree. You have to finish games, though, to be able to rate it, because I could play an hour of a game and know that's fucking horseshit. I'm not going to play to the end because it might jump up 1 extra point because the ending is okay.
Well, for me, it's not like literally putting, like, I mean, not able to express any kind of opinion on it, because I would be a huge hypocrite then, because I was, like, not into what Far Cry 3 was putting down, but I had barely touched it. It was just, like, what I was seeing in, like, an hour of it or whatever. It's more like what I mean is I didn't then put, like, a number on that and, like, was saying I am an authority figure on this topic what I say is important, don't buy this. Whereas, like, that seems implicit in putting a review score next to your thoughts and publishing it as a review, you know?
The only problem I have with the Steam thing, though, is, like, that bias is immense. Because it's like, of course they like this game. They put 60 hours into it. Why would I trust his opinion?
Well, like, they drank the Kool-Aid, you could say, or something. Like,
Well, because it's like, of course he says it's worth playing because he just put 200 hours into it. Like, if he doesn't say that, he's a fucking retard.
I guess I'm not even, like, reading at that point. It's more like someone somewhere was compelled enough to spend this much time on it. That's interesting.
Okay,
as opposed
fair
to,
enough.
like, you know, I don't know how long this person played or what they did, but they gave it 5 out of 5. I don't, like, what is that?
But if I don't know who that person is, like, what do I care? Because they also probably loved NBA 2K14 or something. Like, there's no basis of a comparison there. I'd rather just find the person that has, like...
It's kind of game to game. You can't, like,
it
ever
is.
someone and be like, well, I don't really like basketball, but if this person says NBA 2K14 is really cool, I guess I'll check it out. Like, it's at some point, it's just like, do you want to play basketball? No? Well, don't play a basketball game. Like, it's
let's talk about Giant Bomb for a second.
Yeah. Okay.
I found my tastes seem to go way more in line with Alex than a lot of other people there recently, and that's weird. Like, I know that he'll like sports games, and I know I won't. But, like, for the other stuff, he's just like, no, I wasn't feeling this, and I usually agree. Or, like, he likes something else, and I do like it as well. So, like, it's weird because he's probably, like, my least favorite of all the people that work there, but my opinion lines up the most with his.
Okay. I guess
That's strange.
I'm trying to think what has he reviewed recently other than kind of some sports stuff.
Well, they always give him the games that are not AAA titles and they think are shit. And those are the games I usually play because they're cheaper and I'm not going to shell out $60 every week when a game comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's just on that basis. But, like, I find I barely ever agree with Brad, if ever. Like, every now and then I do with Jeff and so on. But, like, I seem to agree with his opinion most. So if he recommends something, I'm usually game to at least look at it.
I guess, are you looking at reviews or, like, quick looks and bombing?
No, reviews, because quick looks are a completely different thing. For that, I don't even have to listen to them talk. That's just, like, the icing on the cake. I watch the game, and if it doesn't look compelling, like, Samurai Gun doesn't look fun at all to me, so I know I won't get it.
Yeah.
Even though, like, they had a blast, and it was fun to watch and listen to them play it, I know that from the gameplay, that, like, unless 4 of us were able to get together and, like, maybe pool money for the one-time use of it, like, I will never play that game, because I'm not going to pay money for it.
That is kind of that weird thing that's happening with, like, yeah, there's, like, 2 high-profile local multiplayer games, Towerfall and that, and it's just like, I don't think I can ever experience this the way it's meant to be played, because I don't have 3 people that would be way into this. So, I guess I won't play it. Like, I don't know. Like, honestly, it's just like, I get totally why you don't want to put in a bunch of time in netcode and all this stuff, but without online multiplayer, like, you don't have much, really. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with that game. Like, either of them. It's like, yeah, like, right away when it came out, I was seeing people kind of outcry, like, why isn't this number 1 on Steam? And I was just like, it's never good. What do you mean? Like, this is for, like, almost
nobody.
Why
would it be even in the top, like, 100? Unless everybody on Steam somehow has 3 other people around all the time to play it. There's no way you can give that game over, like, maybe a 5 if we're using a number system out of 10.
Again, kind of coming, like, back to my kind of just questioning of the reviewer elite kind of thing. Like, if you're in an office of people who play games, you have the perfect, like, recipe for that to work, right? So
which is totally, like, unfair to the real consumer.
Like, completely unrepresentative of the audience they're ostensibly making content for.
That's actually why Destructoid was always the best site for that sort of stuff.
Because they're split up across the country?
Across the world.
Yeah,
There's a lot of them in other parts of the world, so everything they review by getting either a copy sent to them or, like, a code and they have to sit there alone in their house, maybe with like a friend that comes over or like their significant other or something, and that's
Right.
it. That's
So they're like more like
consumer
relatable
friendly.
gamer kind of setup than the kind of we have an office full of dudes who love games and we're gonna play Samurai Gun, and you're just like,
Yeah, because then
will
those
never
people
happen.
could be like, Meg was awesome because we had 32 other people ready to play it, to review it. It's like, that's
Yeah.
not ever going to happen, so you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, like it's like I don't know who this serves now, but okay. Like, given this long list of provisos, I guess this could be really cool. But that's not gonna be a thing. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of too bad because like playing it at a convention, like Towerfall is really fun. Samurai Gun is fun in its own way too. It's just like this is just not going to be a viable entertainment option for me unless like I go out of my way to like make meetups happen. Like that's the thing people do. It's like, come on down, we'll play some Mario Kart. We're gonna play Smash Brothers down at this pub. Like, it's just like that is cool. I can't. I don't know. I haven't done that. Maybe I should do that.
Speaking of non-viable entertainment options,
Okay.
I got 3 extra things on Steam for Contagion, so we could play that.
Contagion?
Yeah. It's that game that I
the
like,
within Gary's
at
mod
PAX.
game?
What?
What is your like Contagion? I'm just thinking of the Steven Soderbergh movie. Like, what are you saying?
It's think Left 4 Dead.
Okay.
Only if an indie studio made it, based on a Half-Life mod.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we could do that.
Okay.
We could play that.
Yeah,
I mean, I could give it to you for free because I have 3 extra things for it. So
Sweet. Yeah. Let's do that.
yeah, it probably won't go well because that game isn't that great.
That's too bad. Are you
I was-
sure?
I was super into it.
Maybe
at
it's more
PAX.
fun though with multiple people. See,
Well, I was super into it at PAX with 3 other people.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the things that, like, I tried it by myself when I got it, and it's fucking terrible. So it will be fun with other people, but we got to find those people.
Right.
So People Hunt for Contagion 2013 continues.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Now I'm just thinking of like other gaming experiences that were like, well, it's fun if you have someone else there. Like, I think that's kind of one of the reasons I thought Resident Evil 5 was bad, because it's like, well, if you're not playing co-op, this is not a good game.
Even when you are playing co-op, it's still subpar.
Well, it's just like an action game, whereas others were like trying to be at least a little scary or like I don't know, have tension in it. Like this is just a bad Gears of War approximation from Japan.
We could play 6.
I've never played 6 really.
I
outside
haven't
of
played
that
through
demo.
it either. Yeah.
Okay. I'm game for looking at it. Like I've heard bad things, but at the same time I've played through all the core ones. Well, except I skipped 3, like we talked about, which might have been a mistake, but
Gaiden was still one of the best ones. And Survivor.
okay.
That's not true at all. But
Gaiden was the one for
Survivor
the
was
Game Boy Color, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Every time you encounter a zombie, it goes into like a first-person weird thing where you have to punch them or shoot them with an aiming reticle.
Wow,
Okay.
that's awkward.
Like, you know, in those old flash-based dark games and stuff where there'd be a bar at the bottom and a bar at the top sort of thing?
Mhm,
Like,
for
that's what
accuracy and for power.
It was basically that.
Wow.
So good, right?
And I thought the Resident Evil version of Time Crisis was awkward.
Oh, awkward. But it had Barry in it. And Leon.
So then it's okay.
Pretty much. Barry's one of the best characters in that series.
It's like, this game's awful, but it has the best character of the series in here. Therefore, it's redeemed.
Yeah, it makes no sense, too, because Barry, depending what your ending is for Resident Evil 1, Barry's dead. So, I don't know, whatever.
One of them can't be canon then, but
So let's say it shows Capcom doesn't care about canon with Resident Evil.
Yeah, the canon is the good ending where you save the other person. Like, if you're Chris, it's Jill. If you're Jill, it's Chris. From the jail cell, you blow up the thing, and Wesker, quote-unquote, dies. And then
so
gets...
best possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the canon one. Everything else is just like... Actually,
You
the
got
good
ending
one...
B.
The good one is when you don't save anybody and you don't blow up the mansion, and then the tyrant still lives because Jill at the end in the cutscene takes her hat off for the first time. So you're just like, I need to see that hat come off. And it does, and then the tyrant shows up like a shadow sort of thing, like the end of a movie where it's like, oh, something ominous is going to happen because he's still there, and then it cuts to Still Dawn, the best outro song credit sequence ever.
There you go. Resident Evil.
I know way too much about that game.
Yep. How many times do you think you played it? Like, did you go through it over and over?
Played it in general or beaten it?
Like, credits roll or something? Like,
probably over 30, less than 50.
Wow. Okay. I'm like probably like 5 or something. Like,
that's fair.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Time for questions.
Games. Yeah, let's go to questions.
Meowth Hour, as we like to call it, I guess. We should do that theme song.
Yeah. We already kind of drafted a version of it. It was like...
half a girl, half a cat. Everyone knows it's Meowth.
Which doesn't rhyme. Like yeah.
Does it have...
whatever. Work in progress. I don't know. It just seems like it ought to, but...
Okay. Half a girl, half a cat. Everyone knows that she's all that.
There, see, exactly. That's what I'm going for.
Okay.
And rhyme. You need it. Okay, what do we got?
You have to... yeah, maybe we'll actually make that thing, but let's start this off here.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Nathan. I recently went to go see The Hobbit Desolation of Smaug, and it was awesome. Well, mostly the part where they saw the dragon, but, you know. And, I went to the theaters, and I wanted to ask, since you guys are, like, movie buffs, Paul, why do you hate the theaters? And Nathan, why do you go to movie theaters to see movies?
Want to start, or should I?
I guess the order of questioning was ask you first, so I guess go.
Okay. I hate the theater because I don't feel many movies, if any, are worth the price of admission, and let alone the price of admission having to be corralled into a theater with a bunch of annoying people everywhere.
Whereas I think I like the crowd experience for a movie. Like, I don't know. Like the audience laughing and enjoying like the bouncing barrel, or dude going, "What the shit?" at the end of the movie when it cuts to credits during a thing. It's like, yeah, that was a part of the experience. That was an experience I had with this group of people. I don't know. I like that, so I'm willing to pay for that. And yeah, even though it's like weird, 3D goggle, like 3D glasses and kind of that said, though, 48 frames is some of the smoothest, like, best 3D I've experienced. It's just, you don't even think about it. So, I don't know. I've just been doing it for quite a while. Like, since, really, let's go back in time. Summer 2001. I just was like, wait, I can see the movies because I have money to see them. This is great. And then I just went to the theater all the time, and I just kind of got a taste for it. And here I am, like, 12 years later, still doing that periodically. So, yeah, I don't know. And, I meet up with a friend of mine who's also way into movies, and, Brittany comes, and it's just a little social experience. You just go out and see a movie. I like it. Yeah. So, there you go. It's still overpriced. I don't enjoy some of the food stuff. That said, that experience I kind of described with the Carrie VIP thing, I actually liked that. That was kind of cool. I wish they had something like that near here. Just more comfy seats, and you get like poutine or something. Who's gonna complain about that? So yeah, I don't know. There you go.
What about you, Tony? Theater, yay or nay?
The thing is that when it comes to at least the theater, it depends really on the movie, because most of the time, if you get lucky and get a theater where there isn't a lot of people for a movie you're really keenly interested in, it's actually kind of nice. Like, for instance, earlier this year, I went with my parents to go see the 3D re-release of Jurassic Park in theaters.
Nice.
There were only like half a dozen people in the theater, including the three of us. And then a little bit later, like, a bunch of other kids showed up, and it was like, it wasn't terrible because that movie scared the crap out of them, and they all ran out. And I was happy because it was like, I remember when I saw that movie for the first time, that was my reaction when the T-Rex comes barging in trying to kill the kids through the ceiling of the car. Like, this is awesome. But for me, the problem is there often isn't enough movies out there that I want to go see that, to go spend the money on. And then most of the time when I wind up getting there, it's like, oh, it's filled with people. I don't like people. You know, cell phones out. It's like, turn your phone off, and then you get beamed upside the head with a barrel of popcorn. It's like, why did I even bother spending the $9 to come out here to come see this movie?
Yeah, well, it's like $13 here, but
we usually will hit the matinee screenings. So it's usually a little bit cheaper in that front, but most of the time, like I probably went to go see more movies this year than I have in the last few years. But that being said, there were still a couple movies I really wanted to go see, but will probably not get the opportunity to, or they're already out on DVD.
Okay.
So it's not a huge priority for me because I'm not really a film guy. Like, I'll watch movies at home every once in a while. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, just to show how behind I am on movies, I saw No Country for Old Men for the first time this weekend.
Okay.
Nice.
6 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the outdated person.
I like that. I watched Fargo again this week, but yeah, whatever.
It was a fun double feature of movies because we had, I think, a free trial weekend of IFC or something, and we normally don't get that as part of our TV. We got to see, it was No Country for Old Men and then Blazing Saddles.
Okay.
Nice. Okay.
It was a great combination of movies. It was like, oh, this is so good. Because you said this brooding, just dark movie, and then all of a sudden you get Mel Brooks, arguably the best movie he's ever made.
Yeah, I guess that is arguable at the very least. So
Definitely.
Okay.
Okay.
What is that one? High Anxiety. I have weird affinity for, but no one likes that movie. I don't know. It's a Hitchcock parody one. It's okay. Anyway.
Next question.
Next question. I like crowds. That was basically.
Hey Paul, hey Nathan. This question's about movies again. I notice that whenever I go out to movies that I always get like candy or something because whenever I get popcorn, it's just like too much popcorn and then you'll be like eating it after the first 5 or so bites you have of popcorn and then just throw it out after. So I usually just get candy. But whenever I get candy, I usually finish it up during the previews because the previews for the movies are so long. Anyways, do you guys, whenever you go out to theater movies, always just finish your snacks before the movie starts?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get popcorn though. Like, my snacks is I'll usually get like maybe nachos or fries or like something substantial, so it's easy to finish off that.
Fries are pretty sweet, and yeah, I go through them pretty fast. And I guess just brief comment on the previous thing. I don't mind trailers, but yeah, the ads are getting more and more aggressive as they always do. So
yeah.
Hobbit must have been like 9 minutes of just commercials. I don't know. It seemed impressive. It was just like weird. Whatever. Yeah. So no, that is the thing that happens. I don't tend to buy candy though either. But I seem to get handed, like, I guess that kind of works out for someone if you're going in a group situation. Someone has that experience with their popcorn partway through where they're just like, I'm done. And then they just hand it down and you get free popcorn. It's great. So I will finish popcorn. I don't ever initiate it though.
Sure.
So, yeah. Snacks.
That's fair.
Butter or no butter?
I prefer butter, but
yeah, for sure.
All the butter.
Yeah. You tell them to layer it. It's delicious.
Yeah.
Anyway, next question.
So I watched the Muppets on TV, the Christmas Muppets, when they were doing the Christmas Carol movie, and I thought it was really good. So, is the Muppets your favorite variation of the Christmas Carol, or are there other variations you enjoy of it?
I think it actually is. Michael Caine does a great job.
Michael Caine is great.
Yeah. I actually really like genuinely probably just. I mean, it's kind of rose tinted, and I was a kid at the time and stuff. But like, it's like his Scrooge is just really great. I have not really seen any other version that like. I mean, there's the Mickey Mouse one. There's the Jim Carrey like Robert Zemeckis thing that I saw,
which is oddly good.
It was fine. Like it was good. I think it was just whenever they did kind of the Scrooge is tiny and he's like surfing on an icicle. It was like, what the hell is this? Like they just kind of have 3D movie gags.
Yeah, there were definitely some weird moments. If you're watching on TV and it's like, okay, this is clearly where 3D goes here and there.
And occasionally I actually liked how it opened. It was like, well, in like if you're making an animated film, you can just have a continuous shot for a long time because there's no cuts. Like you could just fly that camera everywhere, and that stuff was kind of cool. But yeah, they're more kind of like specifically that bit where he was surfing on an icicle for some reason. There's like dogs and all this craziness. It was just like, why is this movie? But yeah, like I mean the turns you expect where he's like waking up the next morning and giving everyone like turkeys and geese and whatever, and it's all happy. Yeah, there's some good performance there, and it was fine. It just maybe came a little late to endear itself to me in the same way.
What about Scrooged?
I've been thinking about watching Scrooged again. I've seen it. It's okay, but I don't know. It maybe didn't quite blow me away in a way I hoped. Bill Murray star thing. I like Bill Murray. I know you don't really, right? Is that fair to say?
It's not that I don't like him so much as I think he's overhyped for what little good he's actually done.
Put out. Yeah. Like it's like there aren't enough great Bill Murray movies to make much of a case for him. It's like Ghostbusters and Caddyshack, maybe, if you're way into that.
Groundhog
Day
for like the 5 minutes he's in Caddyshack, maybe.
Yeah, Groundhog Day I think is like the one you can really point at as like, no, come on. Like he does a great job here. Like this is
that movie's great.
Yeah, that movie nails it. But then there's just not enough examples of like a starring role with him in it that is fantastic. Like Man Who Knew Too Little is kind of dopey, but it kind of works, but it's not great. It's like if a Leslie Nielsen tier comedy was maybe a little bit better. Like is as far as that ever gets to.
Sure.
I've seen a bunch of stuff. Like, what's the one with the elephant? He's like driving an elephant across the country.
Oh, Operation Dumbo Drop.
Dumbo Drop.
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
No, it's larger than life.
Larger than life. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Same era. Like, yeah, elephant comedies. Weird that they're one, but yep.
The one where they're trying to get an elephant from one place to another. Oh, you mean one of these 10 movies that came out the same year?
You're right. Okay, fine. The one with Bill Murray in it. I found What About Bob weirdly disturbing.
Yeah, it is really disturbing. It's great.
But like, I mean, it was like always like I just didn't find it very funny. I found it kind of a compelling, but like,
I don't think it's supposed to be funny.
But I think it is supposed to be funny. It's just like I don't like Richard Dreyfuss getting hassled. Like I am actually stressed out with him, and I'm like sympathetic to the wrong person, I think. And it's like wacky kind of mental patient teaches family a lesson or whatever. It's just like, no, this is just weird. Like he's just invading their space and just kind of ruining all of this stuff for them. Like it just made me uncomfortable. Like,
we can agree though that like Bob was a piece of shit, right? Like he needed to die.
Well, he needed like actual like a lot of help. And not just like wacky.
Which death, the sweet, sweet release of death would have given him.
Oh, man, just throwing dark every opportunity. But okay, whatever. I did not like laugh and enjoy that movie in the way I was intended to. So yeah, whatever. I guess bottom line, I wish Bill Murray was in more like great movies, but he kind of isn't, which is too bad because he's got a long career. Stripes, I don't get the love around Stripes either. Sorry, what?
No, I was like, how did we even get to this? And then I remembered Scrooged.
Yeah, it's Christmas, a version of that tale. I think it is on Netflix. I will watch it this season and look at it again. But, I don't know. It's, I mean, on paper, it's like, Wall Street businessman is the new Scrooge. It's like, yeah, all right, that makes sense. Like, this scrupulous, like, dastardly, heartless dude. Like that is the 20th century version of that at the very least. But I don't know. It didn't quite all work out. Isn't Karen Allen in that movie?
I think so. Yeah.
Weird. Just outside of Indiana Jones, I don't see her in things often. So whatever. Okay, there you go. Yes, the Muppet version is great. Do you guys like that one? I kind of just jumped in on my gains.
Anything the Muppets do, even like when it's a version of a Muppet thing, like the last movie was, they do good. So
I guess I was gonna say there's the Gaga like Muppet thing. There's a special.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that good?
I don't know, but I'll probably watch it because I like both of those things. Unironically.
I saw it was like an hour long, and I was just like, "What is?" I think I saw it like I was just messing around with the Netflix app on my Vita. I was just kind of like, I kind of just want to click play on this right now, but it's kind of late. Yeah, that might be something worth seeing. I can't really say.
Okay, are we ready for the last bit of the Meowth Hour?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
This question kind of comes up after I finished watching the Muppets Christmas Carol special. So, which one of the two of you would be Scrooge, and which one of the two of you would be Marley? And then the second question is, who out of all the people in the chat would be the three ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future? I thought this question would be interesting, and I hope you answer.
Wait, is it?
That's kind of a weird thing. Like, when haven't we answered one of your questions? That's kind of throughout the end. It's like, I really hope you answered this one. It's like, of course we're going to.
This one's the most important one, so now we need to be extra.
So, like, I could have thrown out all three of the others, but this one, like, come hell or high water, we have to answer it.
Well, maybe because it involves the community or something. I don't know, but
I agree. No, I mean,
wait, is
I
it
figured
Marley
we have to answer
or is that
all of
the
them.
ghost? Isn't Marley one of the ghosts? Who's the guy the employee he kind of rags on? You know, like he takes for granted, and like, I guess he can have a half day on Christmas Eve, I guess, but you know,
What the fuck was his name now?
Was it Cratchit? Was it Bob Cratchit?
Yeah,
Cratchit. Okay, like was it Tiny Tim's dad?
Anyways, we know what she means. So between the two of us, should we just rock, paper, scissors?
I don't know, but who do you think fits the profiles? Who's the most miserly?
Miserly? Neither of us. Easily,
right,
neither of us.
I guess you. But again, like, do you go like pre-transform Scrooge? Because everyone kind of remembers him in his most mean state. But at the end of that story, he's a generous, awesome dude. So
yeah, so that's probably not me.
Okay. Self-depreciating, but okay. I don't know if that's me either, though.
Okay, you know what? For sake of argument, I'll take it because I think I fit the bill a little bit more, probably.
Yeah, you're handing out all these podcasts. You know, it's like Christmas. You know, Christmas goose.
Sure.
Yeah. You host the site. I guess is what I'm saying. Like, it wouldn't happen without Paul.
Sure, but I'm not like saying you can't have Christmas off. You have to write me a review of Titanfall right now.
I already did. Like, you already got it.
Yeah, but you didn't write it.
Oh, okay.
I need you to do some ASCII art. Balloon.
Okay. Man, the ghosts. Who in the community would be which ghost? Like, past. Who is the most, I don't know, retrospective, historical? Mario 64 Mario?
Sure.
Well, they just, like, you know, like factoids pop up in the chat, you know, like aware of the past.
Okay. We can go with that. Sure.
We'll be on that.
I think he's OG too.
Christmas present. Who's that?
Actually, no, he is. He definitely is past because he's the one that when I moved all this stuff from Podbean, he had our first like 20 episodes that I lost.
There you go. So the past, he's like got all this stuff stored up, ready to. Yeah, okay. Christmas present.
Like, probably Meowth.
I was gonna say, but part of the question. But
so she can't be part of it because she asked.
Maybe, Like, we'll say yes, probably.
I'm saying probably present because we're presently basically have a Meowth hour every week.
Okay. So always aware of, like, our current doings. So
And talking to us a lot on Twitter, that sort of stuff. So probably.
Oh, okay. And future is kind of a pickle. I don't know. Who's looking ahead? In a grim way. Like, I always found the future dark
me,
and unsettling.
That's me.
Okay. It's you as well? You're also the future ghost?
No, like, this is what the problem is. That would probably be me.
Okay.
But, like, then who... I don't know. Future,
Tony, do you want to be Scrooge, or... Casting for this play we're working on.
This is a good one. I mean...
Scrooge...
Well, Scrooge doesn't really like people, so I guess I could probably pull it off.
Okay. And you're going to these matinees, right? You're saving the money.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
There you go. Tying it into stuff we just talked. There you go. Done.
And I hardly ever buy games for full price on Steam. I think it's confirmed.
Right. So then Paul's got his hood, and then he's like in the graveyard. Then he points. And then in the grave is Tearaway, because no one bought it. And it's like everyone waited for the sale, just like I said, and it's kind of sad.
Did you want to talk about that?
Oh, I didn't on the thing, did I?
You didn't talk about it on the thing. So, okay, Meowth Hour's over anyways. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Got a question or comment for the show? You can email us at podcast@pixelresponse.com or leave a voicemail using the voicemail feature on the right side of the main page. On Twitter, you can reach Nathan at Krasnor and Paul at Exposure. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/thepixelresponse and visit pixelresponse.com for more.
Okay, so we appreciate anytime we get voicemails, emails, Twitter question, whatever, all that sort of stuff. Go ahead, Tearaway. Let's do it.
Well, okay, I don't really know how to like start into the topic other than I played the Tearaway demo a couple times, like PAX and E3, so I have some understanding of the game, and it seems pretty charming. But I don't know, just I saw a tweet one morning that was retweeted by Nick Sutner, who works for PlayStation, that was like, hey guys, Tearaway's $20 on Amazon right now. Get that ASAP. And it was really just the ASAP that kind of, I don't know, rubbed me weird. I was just like, well, I mean, no rush, really. Like, and then I ultimately just got to like, well, the way I would do it is just wait for it to come on to Plus. So I just expressed that essentially. Realized that would be kind of a negative thing for Sony PR. So then I hashtag double-edged sword because it's like a good thing because people want to subscribe to Plus, but it's a bad thing because why would you buy anything ever? Because it's just going to be on Plus. And yeah, I kind of got a little conversation going, which I wasn't really expecting to happen. Just from a couple, I don't know. And I think that was kind of part of the thing of just like thinking about reviews and like value and all this. Like, it's easy to review something that you got for no money and say it's really great and people should buy it, but why would they buy it for $40 really quickly when they could wait until it's like, you know, 20 in this deal, which is already kind of a big slide considering that game just came out, or even like, you know, $10 or whatever in a Plus sale at some point, or I'm assuming it'll eventually be a subscriber game because it's a Media Molecule first party thing, and I already have Little Big Planet thanks to that. So I don't know. It was kind of a bit of a spark point for like, just, yeah, like I am trained to wait for deals. I have tons of stuff to play. Why would I buy this right now? And yeah, I don't know. That game seems especially like that's going to happen. Like I can't see that game selling very well because why would you pay full price for that? For like, not even saying like it's a bad experience. It's just, it's a short experience during a very busy time of year. It's not going to be a high priority for like a lot of people. So yeah, like I don't know. Have you guys, do you even know much about this game, or?
I frankly don't give a fuck about it.
But like, I don't mean to sound like completely dismissive about it. Like, it's using the Vita in kind of cool ways, and like the cameras and the touch pads and all this stuff.
And you realize I don't have a Vita, so
I know. So this is like extra non-applicable. I'm just like, it's not like this game looks bad. It's more just like this game looks like something people should play eventually, maybe if they want to. I don't know. Like, it's like
for free.
The fervor around it seemed kind of just not earned or whatever. Like, same thing with Puppeteer. Like, I played Puppeteer there too. It's another Sony game. I'm gonna wait for like that to be almost no money. Not because it looked bad, but because it's kind of just a platformer experience, and I'm good. Like, I have those, and it seemed to lay the narration on real thick, so I might get tired of it. It just seemed like it had like, that's the thing. From my perspective, I'm like, no, you don't understand. This is me praising your game. I will eventually give you like $5 or $10 and play it. You're welcome. That's kind of where I'm sitting. Whereas it's just like, oh, what? You won't pay us $40? And you're just like, well, no, that's kind of, come on. You're asking a lot. $40. That's like Zelda money. All right?
For sure.
Like, I'm playing that game again because I know I'm going to have like a good long time with it. This is like a new thing. This is not an established brand. I don't know what this is. I'm sufficiently curious enough to check it out and give you maybe a few dollars for it. From where, like, I mean, that's entitled as hell, but that's just what's the reality. Like, I have so many entertainment options. I don't need your thing necessarily right away. So, yeah, it's kind of a inverted way of looking at it from like where they're like, they want to sell me a thing, but I don't, I'm going to look out for number one. Like, that just makes sense. That's just common sense.
You're getting called out.
By who? What? Or
Marshmallow. He says you care about random Nick guy's Twitter, but not mine, Krasnor. Fuck you.
Oh, did I not? What? I followed a couple of people. Okay.
He's still mad because you didn't follow him, apparently. So
all right.
He's had it out for you all night.
I don't. Okay, to be fair. Oh wait, no, sorry. I was gonna say I don't think I am following Nick Sutner. I think he's just on my games list. So I like, but okay, yeah. Sorry, I don't know. I'm a big indie funny. Game player.
We haven't gone a week yet where you haven't got called out about something dumb.
Okay, sorry. I'll click follow. And, all right, sorry, you guys.
You should make him earn it, I think. Like, follow
something really hilarious.
You gotta earn that follow.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever.
It's hard to get on your side, so you gotta earn it.
No, honestly, my Twitter feed would be better if it was like stuff relevant to anything I'm doing or into or anything.
And like people that want to talk to you.
That want to talk to me. Yeah, it's just like it's honestly like the pony fandom thing has started to kind of back, bit of blowback. Like, it's just like, I don't care about this. Like, season 4 isn't that great, yet everybody in this echo chamber I've created is excited, and I don't get it. But I made my own monster, and it's defeating me.
It's like Lady Gaga.
Run while you still can.
Nathan, you are the Lady Gaga of the podcast. How do you feel?
Thank you. I don't even know. I have not listened to a Lady Gaga song in a while, but thanks, I guess.
She's great.
Yeah. She wears outlandish costumes and,
just like you.
Yeah. I'm wearing this robe and I got this mustache. That's kind of what Lady Gaga would be into if she was a man, I think.
Next time you go to work, you gotta just wear a whole bunch of like cold cut meats as a suit.
Yeah. Just like, no, I'm not like testing anything. This is my lunch.
Yeah, I'm actually just wearing what I plan to eat in a couple hours after sweating in it.
That's terrible, but yeah, we do actually have lunch.
Oh, speaking of shirts, cafepress.com/pixelresponse stuff. You can get a shirt with Nathan's face on it.
Yes. Yep, you could.
We get barely any cutback from it, but gets his face out there.
Such a goofy thing. So if you wanted to do that,
it is really goofy. It's really expensive too. Like, I saw what the price is for like random people.
Yeah.
For like a normal person, it's $30.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, for me it'll be $25.
Okay. Man, if anyone, I totally understand if you don't want to do that. Hey, like Creative Commons license on that picture. If you want to make your own iron-on thing, go ahead. Like,
Make sure you tweet a picture or something of it because we'd love to see that. That'd be great.
If you can create like an ironable pic, like I don't know.
You totally could. You can buy the sheets of paper that you can just print on and then iron it on.
Okay.
I don't think they work very well, but I mean, who cares? Like,
Yeah. If that's what you need to do, I'm fine with that. That $30 is a pill to swallow.
Maybe.
That's crazy.
Does that mean I should offer the like transparent PNG of just your head for people to download if they want to do that?
I guess. I don't know.
Because then they could download it straight from us and not have to like try to cut it out weird from like a shirt site.
Something or yeah, okay.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that.
Anyway, there you go. Those are things we do.
Anyways, besides that, Tony, thank you for joining us. Where can people find you?
They can follow me on Twitch at ZetaShade. I don't stream, but in the future I do plan on streaming actually, so hopefully that can get off the ground sooner rather than later. And you can also find me at Twitter at T_POMPS, so that's T_Pomps. And I tweet about all kinds of stuff. I do a lot of gaming, a lot of hockey-related stuff, board games, just kind of an all-around nerd, so to speak. Thank you guys for having me on the show. It's very much appreciated that you guys would have me on, and I had a blast.
Well, it was great having you. We'll have to do it again sometime. But for now,
The music's already okay.
It's starting. The beginning of the end is here. And we will see everybody else next time. This outro takes a lot longer to wrap up than I remembered. Bye.